the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up.
Hello, world. Welcome to the Morning Spread right here on the Betting News Network. Saturday edition of the Morning Spread right here on the BNN, episode 46, if you are keeping track at home. Appreciate you all being here. I'm your host, Nate Hornung, better known online as Shaggy_Bets. I got producer Alex helping me out in the shadows today, and this is all brought to you by our lovely sponsors at Lucky Rebel Sportsbook. Go to luckyrebel.la, click the QR code up above my head. Get yourself a $1,250 deposit bonus as well as 50 slot spins immediately in your account. Appreciate you guys all starting your Saturday bright and early right here with me. We got a big show planned for you, big day on the network as always. You're stuck with me for the next 57 minutes or so. We're going to get into a whole lot of everything. We're going to get into some EPL soccer. We're going to touch on some MLS. We're going to talk about tomorrow's EPL. We're going to get into some NHL and some NBA as well. But don't go anywhere, because at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, Afternoon Betspresso will be live. We got a special guest, our guy Chris. He does the horses for bettingnews.com. He'll be on the show today talking all things Kentucky Derby, because the Kentucky Derby is happening today at Churchill Downs in Kentucky. Fun stuff going on all over the sports world. We got you all covered at bettingnews.com. Yeah, I'm just telling you stuff. I'm just letting you know. All right. I know you just got here, but I know you've been in a situation. You walk into a room, you see some certain people in said room, and you immediately walk out. I just don't want you to do that when you see me here on the screen. Appreciate you being here as always. Yeah, Jerry, do we need to talk about it? Do we need to revisit the Lakers and the Rockets last night? Because the Rockets did not extend the series to 7 games. They did not win game 6 at home. They lost by 20 to LeBron and company. LeBron, 28 points for the Lakers, leading all scorers. Looked like he had 28, 8 and 7 as well. Just a few boards and assists away from a triple-double from Le King. 40% shooting from the field for the Lakers as a team, 43% from deep, just 58% from the free throw line, but it didn't matter. They still won by 20. Led the whole game, never looked back, never really let the Rockets back into it. Houston, thanks for playing. It was a good season. Try again next year. I mean, you go down 3-0 in a series. Do you have much faith that you're going to make the comeback? I mean, it was always going to be the Lakers, wasn't it? But that wasn't all the action on the hardwood. Toronto survived in overtime against Cleveland. They successfully forced a Game 7. Toronto and Cleveland back to Cleveland on Sunday for that Game 7, as well as the Pistons and the Magic. Magic could not close it out at home. The Pistons got the job done on the road. Those 2 Game 7s will take place on Sunday. And we're sitting pretty with the Pistons. Because, look, what did I tell you? I said if you like the Pistons, you gotta. The Pistons comeback was insane. Actually, because we'll start there. I stopped watching. I stopped scoreboard watching. I stopped updating the score, looking at the box score when they were down, 20 at halftime, I think is what it was. Looking at the box score right now, what is that, 60-38? Yeah, so they're down 22 at halftime. I stopped watching. And then the Pistons just turned it on in the second half. Didn't even score that many points. They only had 55 points in the second half. But when you hold the Magic to just 19 in the final 2 quarters, good things are going to happen. Cade Cunningham, 32 points from the Pistons stud, 10 boards as well. He also added, it looks like, a few assists, so he was helping his teammates out as well. But Paulo Banchero, double-double, not enough to move the Magic on. And now they got to play a Game 7 back at home in Motor City, and we are sitting nice and pretty with the Pistons to win the series at plus 115. So we're sitting with the Pistons money line at plus money. Guess what? They are favored by 8.5 points. Their money line is priced about minus 355. We got it at plus 115. A historic bad run by the Magic in the second half there. 50-15 run for the Pistons. Thank you, Alex, for those numbers. The Magic went 14 minutes of game time not scoring, 45 minutes in real time, 23 straight missed field goals, 13 straight missed threes. You're not going to win very many basketball games with those stats, ladies and gentlemen. Even at home, even in the playoffs, that's not going to get it done. So shout out to Pistons for winning on the road, forcing a game 7 back at home. And same with Toronto. They did get the job done at home, but now they have to go to Cleveland for game 7 on Sunday. That's what happened on the hardwood. What happened on the ice? We had 3 games in the NHL last night. A scoreless game between the Lightning and the Canadiens. It was always the under, ladies and gentlemen. I was sitting here debating the 5.5. We ended up going with Jacob Dobesh's saves, which cashed with ease. The man had 32. We only needed 25. Lightning successfully ripped the puck on net. Even if you took the 23.5, the lower number in the 60-minute line on the blue book, that would have cashed as well. He did get there in regulation time, but he did allow a goal in overtime. Tampa Bay winning 1-0, forcing a game 7 back in Tampa Bay on Sunday. Lots of game 7s on Sunday, people. We'll have 2 in the NBA. We'll have 1 in the NHL. So a very exciting weekend of playoff action for us fans. What else we got? Yep, beat out the Sabres. Sabres. They got the job done. Didn't even need a game 7. Didn't want to go back and win in front of their hometown fans. They got the job done in TD Garden last night. Took it to the Bruins 4-1. I know we were kind of debating the Bruins team total under in that game, and we should have took it because it was easy. Cashed with ease, just 1 goal for the Bruins. Their offense was not clicking at all series long. They scored 7 goals in the first 2 games. Only managed 5 in the final 4 of this series. Again, not how you win games in the playoffs. Lastly, we had the Vegas Golden Knights going into Salt Lake City, and they also opted to not go to a game 7. They got it done in 6 on the road against the Utah Mammoth. Again, with ease, a 5-1 victory for the Golden Knights. 3 goals in that final period. They were up 2-0 after 2 periods. Utah got one early in the third, and then Vegas responded with 3 unanswered, 1 on a power play, 1 empty netter to win 5-1, cashing our Canes and Knights series parlay ticket at plus 152. So that felt really good for that to appear in my bet slip this morning. Extra funds in the account. You gotta love it. Now, today in the playoffs, we just got 1 NHL game and 1 NBA game, so we'll get to those here in a little bit after the show. But I have been doing too much time recapping because we got EPL starting here in 20 minutes, folks. We got 4 games going off today, 4 matches rather, going off 3 of them here in the next 20 minutes, and then 1 at 11:30 Central. Arsenal and Fulham is that later standalone match. Hey, I do look ready for the Lynx. Little quarter zip, little golf hat. I wish I was playing golf, but instead I'm going to help my cousin move right after the show. So, I'm getting Stifler. I'm getting some exercise in this morning. All right, we're gonna go move. We're gonna go lift some couches, do all that good stuff. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. This is my cousin with the truck, so you got to be nice to him. Right? You got to be nice to him because there's going to be a time where I'm going to need to borrow that truck of his. Thank you, Patch. On the record. I want this on the record, please. On my tombstone, actually. Shaggy Betts was a great cousin. Please and thank you. All right, but we got 3 EPL matches going off today here in about 19 minutes. 1 more at 11:30. We're going to talk about Sunday's action as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, starting in Brentford. We got Brentford, the Bees, taking on West Ham United. Now, we've got 2 teams that actually have decent motivation for both sides late in the season, which is not always the case with some of these EPL matches. But West Ham United in a battle to avoid relegation right now with Tottenham. They are 2 points ahead of the Spurs with 4 matches remaining. Now, based on goal differential, Tottenham does not need to overtake West Ham. Tottenham has the edge on goal differential by 6 goals. So assuming nothing crazy happens, all Tottenham needs to do is earn 2 more points than West Ham in these final 4 games. That would make them tied on points, and Tottenham would have the nod on goal differential. So West Ham needs as many points as possible today on the road against Brentford. But Brentford, they're a top 10 team in the EPL, and they are trying to get to a Europa League qualifying position. Champions League, UCL qualifying, out of reach for the Bees. Grealish, appreciate you being here, starting your Saturday early with us. So Brentford, UCL kind of out of reach, but they could very well jump into a Europa League qualifying spot. In fact, a win today, earning 3 points, depending on how some of the other matches go, that could propel Brentford to number 6 on the table, which is safely in a UEL qualifying position. Now, Brentford already beat this West Ham team 2-0 on the road earlier this year. They played to a 2-2 draw more recently in the FA Cup. But again, I think Brentford is just simply the better team. Plain and simple, even with motivation on both sides, Brentford's got the second leading goal scorer in the EPL. I would even make the argument that Brentford has a little more motivation because, again, if West Ham already has a little bit of a lead over Tottenham, if West Ham ends up getting relegated, nobody's really going to have much of a reaction over that. People would have predicted that West Ham at the end of this season probably going to be relegated. It would be great if they don't for the club, but again, not going to be a surprise if they do. I think the motivation lies with the home team here. I think they're on a very playable money line. Minus 112 is what I snagged yesterday, up to minus 117 right now. That's definitely playable, totally fine. We just need Brentford to win at home. Earn 3 points here. I do think Brentford wins 2-0 at plus 975. I don't have much faith in West Ham's offense, especially on the road in this situation. So give me the Bees. Give me Brentford on the money line at minus 112. Again, minus 117. Totally fine. Very playable. I also endorse Brentford's team total. I believe over 1.5 was at least playable. It might have been a little more juicy than the money line. Let me take a peek real quick. Pull up old Lucky Rebel Sportsbook. Is anyone still sweating UFC? Is UFC still going on, or is it over at this point? Someone let me know. Someone let me know, because I know the main card was scheduled for like 6 a.m., but let me know if you guys are still sweating some UFC, excuse me. Brentford team total, yeah, over 1.5 is about minus 148. So if you're into paying that juice, fine. But 2 goals should be more than enough to win this game. So give me Brentford on the money line. Again, endorse the team total if you'd rather go that route. Main event going on right now. Tell me what we're sweating, B-Dot. I got funds to burn in my account. So if you guys have a UFC winner in these final few fights, let me know. All right, that's Brentford. That one's starting here in 15 minutes. We got another one starting. Jack Dellerman. All right, sold. Say less, B-Dot. Say less. Oh, this would probably be under the live betting tab. That would make sense, considering it's happening right now. Oh, it's like literally happening right now. Can I even bet this? Wowzers donation. Beast McNeese coming in hot. Hey, make sure my sauce is ready, Beast McNeese. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. After helping my cousin move, I'm going to be in the mood for a caniac. That's for sure. They're doing walkouts, but I'm seeing like these lines are closed. That shouldn't be right. I should still be able to get a wager in. UFC. Oh, hello there. Oh, here we go. Easy there, Bisney. All right, B-Dot, I got you. Jack Della, minus 112 on the money line. I'm in. Let's ride. Let's do it. All right, keep me updated on that since we just placed that wager. I'll sell you on the next EPL match, which actually we're going to go to a game I don't have a pick in. Newcastle and Brighton, they're going head-to-head at St. James Park here in 13 minutes. Full disclosure, didn't really look at this game. Neither of these teams really entices me one way or another. Newcastle just having a character-building season, way down there on the table, safely out of relegation. Not really, not much motivation for the Magpies, to be honest with you. They're playing for pride. That's about it. Brighton, they could have a little bit more motivation. Now, a UCL qualifying position for Brighton, probably out of reach. 8 points behind Aston Villa, who sits in that fifth spot on the EPL table. Brighton in 6th. But they have lots of teams right on their tail. Brighton with 50 points. You got Bournemouth with 49. You got Chelsea, Brentford, and Fulham all with 48. You got Everton with 46 or 47. You even got Sunderland with 46. So those UEL qualifying positions, the race is on. So Brentford needing as many points as possible. Do they get the job done on the road against Newcastle? Maybe, maybe not. If you forced me to bet this game, I would probably take Brighton on that pick'em line at minus 121. Push potential. I do think they could find a way to win just because they might have a little more motivation, be a little more determined than their hosts. But again, not a game I want to touch because, again, neither of these teams interest me very much. So nothing for me in Newcastle and Brighton, but we've got one more match starting in 12 minutes. Wolverhampton, the Wanderers, and Sunderland going head-to-head in Wolverhampton, actually. The worst team in the EPL hosting Sunderland. Sunderland on a very playable money line. You can even find some plus money out there. Minus 102 is the listed price at Lucky Rebel, but again, I am seeing some 105s, some plus 105s rather. So if you like Sunderland, do your line shopping as always. I honestly think we see a scoreless draw. A completely scoreless 90-minute draw. 0-0 at plus 900 is my correct score prediction in this match. And going right along with that, we're taking the under 2.5. Minus 119. Had to pay a little juice for it. That is a-okay. Wolverhampton is moving down to the championship next season. They're being relegated. It's already set in stone. Nothing they can do about it. The visitors, they already shut out the Wolves at the Stadium of Light earlier this season. They were towards the top of the table very early on. They didn't really stay there, but they are safely in the EPL next season. Their defense has been the reason they've had so much success in the Premier League. All right, their defense has been phenomenal all year long. Wolverhampton has the worst scoring offense in the entire league. Could I see this going 1-0 either way? Absolutely. I don't think we see 2 goals in this match. Under 2.5, very safe bet for me in this one. Minus 119 is what we had to pay for it. I believe, let me double check those odds, see if they're still similar. Minus 121 now is what I'm seeing for the under 2.5. So up a couple of cents, still very playable for that under 2.5. So that's what we've got in those first 3 EPL matches. Nothing in Newcastle and Brighton. In Wolverhampton and Sunderland, we are taking the under 2.5. I see it being a 0-0 draw at plus 650. And then as Brentford hosts West Ham United, we are taking the Bees at home on the money line at minus 112. 2-0 Brentford, correct score at plus 975. That's what we got in the early EPL. But let's take a look at the later EPL match. Arsenal hosting Fulham later today at 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. You guys probably already know what I'm betting. Probably don't have to sell it on you. You guys know what I'm going to say. I can just, press play, cue up the Gunners backline monologue because the Gunners have the best backline in all of the world. All of football, European, American, does not matter. Arsenal has the best backline. Plain and simple. Has been all year long. Get out of here, Beast McNeese. Plain and simple. We're taking Arsenal on the money line, under 3.5 at plus 115. Little same game parlay here. Now, I also endorse Arsenal to 0. Arsenal to win to 0. Arsenal money line and both teams to score no, priced about plus 130. That's actually what Papa Shags has on this game. Very wise man, but taking a little bit of a route. Arsenal going to dog walk Fulham. Goals will be flying. Arsenal knows they need him to win the tiebreaker. Do they, though? Do they need? I mean, I guess they are. They do have a match. Man City has a match in hand. That is true. Arsenal's still up on goal differential technically. Again, though, Man City does have that extra match in hand. We'll see what happens. You're not wrong, Stifler. You're not wrong. But Arsenal also plays Atletico Madrid on Tuesday. Grealish, I'm right there with you. Arsenal is going to win this game at home. They know how crucial points are in this EPL race with Man City. It's going to be a penalty. A 45 plus 2 penalty. 45 plus 2 penalty. Stifler, I'm seeing Arsenal has a better goal differential. Man City still has a game in hand. But Arsenal does have the goal differential right now, plus 38 to plus 37. That's all I'm seeing. I'm reading the table. Anyways, Arsenal going to win this game at home, going to get the job done, whatever it takes. But they do have Atletico Madrid coming to town on Tuesday. That might be reason for them to get an early goal and then just kick it around, play possession, save their legs, and make sure they're ready for the second leg of that UCL semifinal on Tuesday. This is our bread and butter, folks. Arsenal with an extended under at plus money. It's no secret. Like I said, Arsenal is one of the best back lines in all of the world. They've been incredibly dominant at home. So far this season, the Gunners, they've played 58 competitive matches. They have won and stayed under 4.5 in 55% of those games, getting a shutout half the time. At home, they've played 29 matches, 29 match sample size. So that same game parlay, Arsenal in the under 4.5, hits more than 62% of the time. They secure a home shutout about 58.6% of matches. Now, I understand, obviously, we're taking it down a goal to 3.5 for plus money. But with everything that's at stake for Arsenal, I have faith in them getting the job done, winning this game in shutout fashion, and keeping it low scoring because they do have Atletico Madrid coming to town this weekend. Arsenal, I think they win 2-0 at plus 600. It's my correct score prediction in this match. Arsenal 2-0 at plus 600, but we're taking them on the money line and the under 3.5 at plus 115 for a unit. That's what we got today in the EPL. Let's take a look at Sunday's action and see if anything is tickling our fancy. Sunday, what do we got? We have just 3 matches, actually, in the EPL. 3 standalones is what it looks like. So let's start with that 8 o'clock Central match, AFC Bournemouth taking on Crystal Palace. Bournemouth is a pretty substantial favorite in this match right here. My gut, just looking at the teams, looking at the odds, the location of this game, I think both teams can find the back of the net. We have an under at a total at a flat 3. Indicates that there's probably going to be some goals. Both teams to score about minus 143. I would like a little less juice, personally. But again, that's kind of where my head would be at in this match. Would be both teams to score. Looks like Bournemouth has stormed up as a favorite, opened closer to minus 130, up to minus 152 now on Lucky Rebel, even minus 155 on some books. We saw a 3-3 draw when these two teams played back in October. Looks like 2 goals came in the first half, and the rest all very, very late after the 64th minute and beyond for the other 4 goals in that match. Prior to that, 2 scoreless meetings. I would still lean with the both teams to score. I don't think I'm going to take that one to the counter, but I definitely lean with both teams to find the back of the net here. Minus 143, playable price. Palace has an important year. That's a good point. Yeah, lean with both teams to score, but I'm probably just going to leave that one alone. Probably just going to leave that one alone. Let's move on to Old Trafford as Manchester United hosts Liverpool, two name brand EPL clubs going head to head late in the season. Now, these two teams are on top of each other on the table. Would I sprinkle the draw? If you need something, Austin, yes. If you need something in that game, yes. I would say so. But again, season winding down, odds makers going to be razor sharp with these lines. It's a-okay to leave some money in your pocket. So that's what I'm going to do on that game. But yeah, I don't hate sprinkling a draw in Palace and Bournemouth. Now, Man U hosting Liverpool. Man U already got the best of Liverpool at Anfield earlier this year. That was way back in October. Beat them 2-1 on their home turf. 84th minute, Harry Maguire goal was the difference maker in that one. Now, like I said, these two teams are on top of each other on the table. Man U sitting in third place right now with 61 points. They're not going to catch City or Arsenal. Man U is basically fighting for third place on the EPL table, but so is Liverpool. Liverpool, 58 points, tied with Aston Villa, actually, but they do have the non-on-goal differential, so they're sitting at fourth in the league. Finishing in the top five is crucial, as the top five qualify for next year's Champions League. Based on the table right now with the remaining games, with the number of games remaining, the top five is pretty much set. Pretty much set. It would take a miracle for Brighton or even Bournemouth to jump up and catch Villa or Liverpool. They would need a meltdown from either of those top clubs, which I don't see happening. However, in this match, I do lean with the hosts. Part of that is because I have just never regained my trust in Liverpool all season long. I've been very down on them. I do not trust their back line. But I will admit they've been playing better. Okay, they were a no-show against PSG in the UCL quarterfinals. But they have won, it looks like, 3 straight in the EPL? Wins over Fulham, Everton, and Crystal Palace. I mean, those aren't the best wins. They're not the most ferocious wins, but they're still wins. You're still earning 3 points. On the road, it would worry me a little bit. On the road, I don't think I can trust Liverpool here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull trigger with Man U either. Plus 124 on the money line is a little tempting. But again, I think I'm just going to leave this one alone as well. Slight lean with Manchester United to get the job done at home. But lastly, the match everybody should be paying attention to. Aston Villa hosting Tottenham Hotspur at 1 o'clock Central tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern. We're taking Villa. We are taking Villa at home. Have not lost to Tottenham in 4 straight competitive matches. 2 in the FA Cup, 2 in the EPL. Aston Villa has won the last 4 head-to-head matches outright. I think Tottenham's a corpse. I'm rooting for them to get relegated. So part of this is me just rooting for Villa. I'll admit that. But I do think Villa, much better side, at home. Yes, you could argue that Tottenham, like my thinking with, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Pistons, their season's up against the wall. They might be playing in the championship next year if they don't come out with points on the road here. That can be a very big motivating factor. I'll give them that. But again, I really like the way Villa's been playing, not just recently, but all year long. Coming off losing to Forest on the road in the UEL semifinals off of a penalty kick. I mean, they dominated that match start to finish, really. I gotta think Villa bounces back at home against a very weak Tottenham team. That again, whose morale just might be in the toilet. Sure, you can try and rally the troops, but when you're a Big Six EPL club I don't know how you go into a locker room and try and rally the boys to avoid relegation. You should have never been in this spot to begin with, right? Lean with Villa. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring that one to the counter either. All of Sunday's EPL kind of up in the air. I am going to have scribbles out for it, so you'll be able to know exactly what I take when I post that article later today. But those are my leans as of right now. Both teams to score in Bournemouth and Palace. Lean with Manchester United. And then lean with Aston Villa as well. Honestly, maybe a Man U team total could be the move. Let me take a look at those odds real quick. If this website decides to work, there we go. Manchester United, yeah, I mean, plus 124 on the money line is tempting. Team total for Man U, over 1.5 at minus 130. I don't hate that, especially because this could be a high-scoring game. We could see a 2-2 game or a 3-2, either way. Well, we'll wait for the scribbles on that one, but I definitely do lean with United in some way, shape, or form. B-Dot, my man. That's okay. It happens. It happens. No big deal. But that's it for UFC, right? That was the main event. That should be up. All right, that's it. Well, we had some fun. We tried. All right, that's EPL. That's the weekend's EPL. Do we have a match on Monday? It looks like we actually do have a couple matches on Monday. Guess what? We'll talk about those on Monday. Chelsea and Nottingham Forest at 9 a.m. on Monday. Is Monday a holiday? Why do we have a 9 a.m. EPL match? May 4th? Is May 4th a holiday in England?
Star Wars Day.
Yeah, well, all right, fair. Oh, it actually, yeah, it's a bank holiday in England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. That explains it. But yes, it is Star Wars Day, of course.
Star Wars Day. That's what it is.
May the 4th be with you. All right, that makes sense. Well, folks, some EPL on Monday. You know what? Chelsea and Forest, nothing's really jumping out to me. Chelsea a minus 150 favorite. I got no interest in betting that game. We're gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, Beast McNeese. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, Taco Tuesday, same day. Yeah, Force has a game on Thursday, which makes me just think Chelsea demolishes them. But I have no interest in paying the minus 150 on the money line. Looks like they opened closer to minus 140, so it's already up 10 cents. Moving in that direction, rightfully so. The Blues at Stamford Bridge. I would have a feeling they get the job done. But we're going to talk about Everton and Man City on Monday. Don't you worry about it. Let's look briefly at the MLS slate. I will have MLS scribbles coming out later today. We're not going to have anything in the noon game. We're not going to have anything in the 1:30. Even though I'm telling you, Seattle is going to demolish Sporting KC at home. Go ahead and just book that right now if you want. Seattle minus the 1.5, probably the move against Sporting KC today. That match at 1:30. We're not going to have anything in the 3:45 either. We're going to keep everything in the MLS this evening. Like I said, I will have scribbles out after helping my good cousin move. But just looking at the slate right now, what's jumping out to me? Yeah, please ladder it. To be honest with you, please ladder it. Well, Seattle obviously jumps out to me, but again, like I said, we're going to leave that one alone since it's this afternoon. Miami and Orlando should see 6 goals minimum. Over 3.5, priced at minus 145. Makes sense. No way I'm paying that juice for 4 goals, even though, like I said, there's going to be 6 in that match. Nashville on the road against Philly is kind of enticing because Philly just has not been good this year. Looks like a lot of money coming in on Nashville, though. Philly down from plus 140 to plus 115 on the money line. Or excuse me, that'd be money on Philly. Leaning with Nashville there. Don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger. Chicago's too big of a home favorite for me to get on board. We'll probably just end up taking Vancouver late night and calling it a day. LAFC and San Diego, probably an under. God, under 3.5 at minus 165. I don't want to pay that. All right, well, we'll figure out MLS. We at least looked at the slate. I'll have scribbles out later today. Don't you worry. We'll be getting into that. But let's switch gears and talk some playoffs. We got about 23 minutes left on the show. Don't go anywhere, folks. Afternoon Bet Espresso will be live at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Danny Burke, Vsauce, Just Sook. You bet on lower leagues and not MLS, Stifler. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to understand that. I'm not going to understand that, but to each his own. All right, let's stick to some playoffs. Get to some playoffs, rather. Let's talk some puck. Philadelphia, Carolina, going head-to-head today to begin this second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, I'm not taking anything in this game today specifically. I'm also not running back the Canes' week-long festivities if Carolina sweeps, because they are more likely, according to the odds, more likely to sweep the Flyers than they were to sweep the Senators. Looking at the prices, we got plus 900 for the Hurricanes to sweep the Senators. It even went up to plus 1060. Carolina to sweep the Flyers is only priced at about plus 630. They are minus 280, I think, to win this series. The minus 1.5 that we got at plus 130 against the Senators, priced at like minus 140 against the Flyers. The books think Carolina is just going to take it to Philadelphia. I think so as well. What I'm going to do is take the Canes to win this series. Not on the series spread, just straight up win the series. We're pairing them with the Avs to win their series. Minus 108 is what we found. It was on the Green Book. Do your line shopping, because I saw this all the way from minus 130 to minus 108, which is what we got it, which actually I did not check. One other book, but I can't imagine it's going to be much better. Hockey Futures Series, Canes, Avs, minus 110. That doesn't move the needle either. If you would like to just make it as chalky as possible and add the Golden Knights, you can get about 2-1. This is enough for me. Just these two to win the series. Hurricanes taking on the Flyers. The Avalanche taking on the Minnesota Wild. Wild have been frisky. I'll give them that, but I do think this Avs team is just way too dominant. They've been in the playoffs before. They have this experience. They have arguably the best player in the league. No, it's not Connor McDavid. I kind of think it's Nathan McKinnon, to be honest with you. Maybe just because he has a hell of a name, but that's neither here nor there. I like the Canes. I like the Avs, both just to win the series. Not trying to get too cute. Just parlay them together, minus 102. More Canes. Yes, more Canes. I'm not running it back, though. I'm not running it back. I can't do it. I got to drop some libs before summer. Eating Canes every day is not helping me do such. But Canes, Avs, both to win the series, minus 108. 2-unit play for myself. And we're just rolling over some of the winnings that we've gotten so far in the NHL playoffs. Because, folks, we are 6-2, up 11 units in the NHL playoffs so far this season. Yes, hitting the Senators minus 1.5, hitting the Canes minus 1.5, hitting the Canes minus 3.5, hitting that Canes Knights series parlay certainly helped. But we've also hit the Avs and reg. Dobesh saves, missed out on a few. But we are sitting pretty so far in the NHL playoffs, rolling over some of those winnings into this parlay. Canes, Avs series parlay -108 for 2 units. But again, nothing in Carolina Flyers specifically today. I'm probably going to avoid betting these series individually just because we do have the future wager on the series price, but feel free to make your own decisions, as always. I do like the Canes on the puck line today, though. If you need some action in this game specifically, Canes -1.5 plus 120, I think could be the move. All right, let's move on to everyone's favorite activity, Shaggy Bets the NBA. Now, we don't have a lot to work with today. We got one game, Game 7, in TD Garden. Sixers, Celtics, going head-to-head. Boston fans just watched the Bruins not get the job done at TD Garden last night. Flip it over to the hardwood, see if the Celtics can do so, because the Celtics need to turn things around. All right, they have melted down the past 6 quarters of basketball against the Philadelphia 76ers. All of the pressure, in my eyes, is on the Celtics. All of the pressure is on the Celtics because, I mean, you win game 1, you lose game 2, then you win 2 straight in Philly on the road. You're up 3-1. You're back at home for game 5. You win the first half in game 5. Covered the first half spread for us. And then you melt down in the second. You have to pick yourselves up. You have to go to Philly for game 6, and you don't show up. Philly kind of dominates you from start to finish. Now we're back in Boston, TD Garden, and Philly's got all the momentum. They're sitting in the locker room telling themselves, hey, we can do this. We can take down the team that everybody thinks is going to come out of the East. We're 1 win away. Can the Sixers do it? Bisney thinks so. Bisney thinks the Sixers can do it. I hate how much I like the under. All the way down from 208 to 205.5. Looks like people are buying in on the Sixers. Celtics opened up as a 9.5 point favorite. Now they're only favored by a touchdown and a hook. Joel Embiid, game time decision. You know that man's playing. Austin wants the Celtics first half for first quarter. I mean, they came out strong in the first quarter in game 6. And then second and third quarters non-existent. They covered our first half spread in game 5 at home before melting down in the third and fourth quarters. Austin, is this turning into one of those I'll do it if you do it situations? Let's look at the Celtics first half spread. 7.5. It's probably what, 4.5? Maybe 5.5. It's got to be 4.5, right? 4.5, yeah. They have to come out strong. Yeah, have to come out strong and keep their foot on the gas. I'll show you mine. -4.5, -105 for the Celtics is what I'm seeing. I am seeing it a lot juicier than that. So yeah, -4.5, -105. Austin's getting a flat 5. Here's a question. Does money keep pouring in on the Sixers? Or do we think it's kind of stagnant at this point? Because already down 2 points from the opener. If it goes down to the 6.5, well, we should be getting the 3.5 in the first half. This is definitely not something I'm going to be betting right here on this show. This game not till 6:30 tonight. We have 9 hours. 9 hours. 9 hours plus till this tips off. Plenty of time to wait. See if we get a better number. see if something else catches our eye. I do think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'm probably going to pass on the under out of principle. Down 3 points anyways, from 208 to 205.5. Austin leans with the first half. I don't think I'm going to back the Celtics full game. Patience. Patience is a virtue, folks. I don't think I'm going to get there with the Celtics full game. I'm not even going to guarantee that I'll get there with the first half. But we're going to turn the noties on. We're going to hold off. We're going to wait. We're going to see what happens. Hey, the under's still in play. The under's still in play. I'll be fine losing a little tenth of a unit correct score sprinkle if it means I get the full unit banger. And honestly, I love that Sunderland scored first, because now there's no way Wolverhampton's going to break through that defense. Brentford's also up 1-0. You didn't want to tell me that? You didn't want to tell me that, Stifler? That my moneyline bet on Brentford looks good? Only sharing the bad news? W virtues, as always. All right, folks. I think that about covers it. Like I said, we're sweating out Brentford right now. We're also sweating out the Sunderland under. Arsenal and the under 3.5 later today, 11:30 Central. We're going to have MLS. We're going to have tomorrow's EPL scribbled out later today. I have some baseball on the schedule today. I'm probably just going to push that to tomorrow, actually. Plenty of baseball on Sunday slate. We're likely going to push the baseball to tomorrow. SBJ supervisor listening to me say that. I think I'm going to push my baseball piece to tomorrow. And we'll call that good again, because I got to go help my cousin move. Then I got to go get some MLS and some EPL in for today and tomorrow. So no baseball for me today. I'm looking at the schedule right now. How many pitchers' names do I recognize? Do we just fade Spencer Arrighetti? Is it as easy as it's been in years past? How's Arrighetti doing this season? He's actually not too bad. 2.0 ERA, 1.11 whip. He's actually won every single game he started. Good for him. Good for Arrighetti. Maybe he's not throwing meatballs this year. Beast McNeese said Jays 1.5 again. Are you just making fun of me because I lost my bet the other day? Or are you serious? Either way is fine. I knew my supervisor would be on board. Beast McNeese, Dylan Cease on the bump for Toronto. Toronto hitting against the lefty. Blue Jays have struggled on the road. Of course, the 1.5 would have came through for the kids yesterday. Blue Jays aren't that good at hitting lefties. They see that average drop quite a bit. Probably gonna stay away. Is it too early for NBA props for all you NBA quants? I don't think we had one prop dropped in chat while we were discussing the Celtics. Papa Shags likes the Jays. Okay. Beast McNeese, you got a wise man on your side. Jerry, if you got him, drop him. What are the props in the NBA? Like I said, that's like going down a triple black diamond for me, and I'm smarter than that. What? There's Stifler only updating the bad news again. Gyökeres for 1 shot on target. Grealish, is that like is that a square? Because there's no way that's his regular line. I would expect that to be total shots on goal. Yeah, minus 205. Okay, so that is his regular line. It's just very juiced. Is it bad news or are they just a bad bet? I don't know yet. I'll wait till the game's over to let you know. That's not true, folks. Bets can be good and lose. Bets can be bad and win. The result does not necessarily make a bet good or bad. I know there's a lot of people that disagree with that. You're welcome to disagree with that. That's not how I view betting, but that's okay. 1.70 for you up in Canada. I mean, yeah, that's playable, Grealish. That's certainly playable. For just 1 shot on target from Gyökeres. I think that's certainly doable because 1.7. What is that? It's like minus 140, minus 140, minus 145 ish. Minus 130. There you go. Yeah, that's playable. That's more than playable for 1 shot on target for that guy. Oh, Stifler. Oh, Stifler. Is it you? Are you the guy? I'm kidding. That was mean. All right, folks. We got 7 minutes left on this show. Don't go anywhere. Don't do American odds. That's okay, Grealish. To each his own. I don't do the metric system. So, I love when Stifler, because I do this too, using Buddy as an insult, and I just think it's, number one, hilarious, but I also don't take offense to it. So, it is what it is. Buddy. Ah, Buddy. Yeah. Ever since the U.S. won gold in hockey, nobody knows what a kilometer is. This is what I hope for, people. All right? If you're watching the stream, if you're reading the articles, all right, this is the perfect spot to do it. While you're on the porcelain throne, taking care of your business, hop over to bettingnews.com. See, okay, no, I wouldn't. Buddy's versatile. Buddy's versatile. Because if I call my buddy, like, they know I'm not trying to be offensive to them. If I call a stranger buddy, that's where, we got issues. I will refer to my actual friends as my buddies every single day of the week, and I don't mean it maliciously. If you're a stranger and I call you buddy, you've pissed me off. You've pissed me off. Little bro, that's such a Gen Z insult, Beast McNeese. You're showing your age there, little bro. You're showing their age there, little bro. Got a big smile out of Alex. If I'm not close with you, do not call me buddy or bud. Fair. Bud is like, Bud you get from the old guys. The old guys talking, yeah, hey bud. Hey bud, how's it going? Bet 140 to win $100. Grealish is doing homework we didn't ask him to do. I love it. I love it. Minus 140 on Gyökeres for 1 shot on target if you can find it, because I was finding minus 205 elsewhere. It's hilarious. But Bud and Alberta is so common. Again, Bud and Buddy are like the same to me. If I'm calling my friend Bud or Buddy, no malicious intent. I'm being sincere. If I'm calling a stranger Bud or Buddy, not good. Coworkers say Bud. See, do you take offense, Padge? Because like a coworker, I probably wouldn't. Unless he's younger. If I have a younger coworker calling me Bud, Alex, don't take notes. Don't you start calling me Bud now. If I have a younger coworker calling me Bud, it might rub me the wrong way. If an old guy's calling me Bud, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Can't even keep up with chat. You guys have so many opinions on this. 0 opinions on my sports picks, apparently. No, I'm just kidding. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you being active in chat as always. Don't know where that comment came from. Buddy's gonna start lunch shopping in Canada. Sook getting here at the perfect time as usual. Folks, we got 3 minutes left on the morning spread here. Don't go anywhere. Afternoon Bet Espresso will be live. Let me recap these bets for you, and then I'll send you on your way. We're sweating out Brentford right now. Not looking too hot. West Ham did tie it up. We got 1-1 in Brentford in that match. Where is the scoreboard? There we go. Oh, no West Ham goal? Lovely. Looks like Brentford's was an OG anyways. Yeah, Stifler said it. West Ham got VAR'd. Sunderland took a red card. That's not great for the brand. Although, again, Sunderland's defense is now definitely just going to park the bus. Up 1-0 on the road, down a man. Oh, it was Danny Ballard too. Dang. All right. Well, folks, let's recap, buddies. Let's recap. How about them Royals? Padge? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The boys are playing some ball. It's nice to see. Cole Reagans was shoving on the mound last night. Let's hope we just need the Royals to string together some wins, and I'll have more faith in them. I'll get more excited for the MLB season. All right, we're sweating out Brentford. We're sweating out the Wolves and Sunderland under, but one you can get involved in here in a couple of hours. Arsenal on the money line and the under 3.5 plus 115. If you want to take this up to 4.5, about minus 140, minus 143, go right ahead. This same game parlay, Arsenal and the under 4.5 hits at 62% at home. 58.6% of the time they shut them out. We are taking it down to 3.5 for plus money. That's A-OK. Really glad I avoided that Newcastle game because I definitely leaned with Brighton all game long. And then on the ice today, nothing official in the game today, Philly and Carolina, but we do have a little series moneyline parlay. The Hurricanes to beat the Flyers and the Avalanche to beat the Wild, both of them just to win their series at minus 108. 2 units on that, rolling over some of the Canes winnings onto another parlay involving the Canes. And like I said, no, I am not running it back if the Canes sweep the Flyers. But thank you for asking. All right, folks, that is what I've got. Be on the lookout for some MLS scribbles later today. Be on the lookout for some EPL scribbles for tomorrow's action, as well as a little Sunday baseball on the slate as well. And again, follow me on Twitter, on X, at Shaggy_bets. I'll let you know if I do get involved in that Celtics game. Leaning with the Celtics first half. We're gonna, V likes it. V likes it down there. Leaning with the Celtics first half. Don't know if I'm going to get there, but we're definitely going to be patient, see if some Sixers money comes in late, and we get a better number there. But that is all I got, folks. Sorry, V. Sixers money line. Hey, Jerry, you can stick it around and debate with Vsauce right now because Afternoon Bet Espresso is live. I will see you guys next week. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy your Saturday. Good luck on your bets and enjoy the Derby.
ওরে পাগল হয়ে যাব আমি পাগল হয়ে যাব ওরে পাগল হয়ে যাব আমি পাগল হয়ে যাব
Once again.
ওরে পাগল হয়ে যাব আমি পাগল হয়ে যাব
Deep John
ওরে
Duke.
পাগল হয়ে যাব
Bohemia.
আমি পাগল
Jay Static
হয়ে
on the beat.
যাব
ਮੰਗਦੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਰਾਈਡ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹਾਈਡ ਮਿੱਤਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਨਾ ਬੁਲਸ਼ਿਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੇਮ ਯਾਰ ਸੇਮ ਸਾਡਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਪੈਗ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਾਈਮ ਤੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਤੇਰੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਯਾਦ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹਿੱਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੁੜਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਛੀ ਜੋ ਫਲਾਈ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਸਾਡੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਕਾਈ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੱਜੇ ਖੱਬੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਯਾਰ ਚੱਲੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਨਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਚ ਪਲੇ ਕਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਗਾਣੇ ਐਨੀ ਅਬਸੈਸ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਨਹੀਂ
Oh, good morning and happy Saturday to all of you out there, folks. Yeah, I thought you were going to leave me just by myself right there after that intro there, Sook. How's it going, everybody? It's Danny Burke. It is Vsauce. It is Sook here on the Betting News Network. It is Betspresso in the AM. And quite the way to wake up. Obviously, getting shags is a great way to do that. But listening to some of the beats that our producer Biz puts out there as well. Sook's reaction for anybody out there, if you could have saw it, was just fantastic. V was locked in immediately once the beat dropped, but Sook was a little confused. And I was kind of waiting to see what was going to develop as well. So that was a hell of a start, fellas. How are we doing this morning?
Feeling good,
Dude,
man.
so
That's
good.
what I needed. That felt great. It's game 7. I'm fucking nervous as fuck. So shout out to Alex for making me feel jacked up to get the day started.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how Alex finds these songs, but good on him. Holy, the banger was there. And yeah, Austin, the jacket does look good, but it's basically completely insulated. So I am sweating already. So I will probably take this off in about 5 minutes.
Danny, thank you for wearing green. Big day for us. We appreciate you representing us.
Hey, I'm sweating you guys out as a friend and obviously someone with a ticket on your team. Now the nerves are officially kicking in. Like last game, I didn't necessarily feel confident about them, just in a tough road spot, laying that many points. But I never really feared for them losing this series, and I still don't. But man, I mean, it's a different look with Joel Embiid on that Sixers roster. A lot of familiarity. We'll be sure to dive into it plenty as we progress throughout this show. We'll give our best bets, sides, totals, preview, props, and plenty more on the hardwood for today and potentially tomorrow if we have some time. We'll also hit on some Major League Baseball, go across the diamond, a big Saturday slate to look forward to. Talk a little bit of puck. I know these guys love getting into that, so if they've got any action on the ice today, then we'll be sure to hit it with these fellas. And of course, we have the Kentucky Derby today, which kind of, at least I don't know about you guys, snuck up on me. Years past, I feel like there's been more build, but I've been more aware. But I might have just been too consumed and like just realized it a few days ago. And I'm happy because we got our guy Chris Adams hopping on, expert when it comes to the track. So we'll get his assessment on the Derby today, and we'll talk all things horse racing momentarily. But fellas, oh, and how could I forget? You guys hit the saucy lay last night. So tomorrow you guys will be doing a giveaway. So props to you guys for coming through last night. I should have done a reverse parlay on myself because I went 0-4 on the hardwood. I know Jerry's in the chat here. Jerry, we got killed with the Rockets, putting our tinfoil hat on and hoping a game 7 was going to ensue. But to no avail, Sook and V. Lakers just absolutely dominate, win by 20. LeBron drops 28. Look, it was classic because right when I started kind of thinking Houston could be on the right track, they just do that. And Houston has been such a frustrating team all year, and I've been calling them out. And then it's, again, just par for the course. And I would say, I'm going to give them a little confidence here. And that was the most disgusting game of probably the entire postseason.
I mean, Magic was pretty disgusting.
Oh yeah, that was the grossest.
I know exactly what you mean, Danny, and I think both teams are in a similar situation where it's like you all of a sudden think they're playing really well, and the team's kind of meshing, and all of a sudden Jabari Smith Jr. is hitting his shots, and Tari Eason looks way better. Now Amen Thompson is hitting corner threes in Game 5. Like, wait, what? I don't know. It was just one of those situations where they played so well for 2 games that I had high expectations for them too. Scott Foster, additionally, maybe you think the league wants to stretch it to 7, but LeBron said, I'm only losing 1 elimination game, not fucking 2. So close-out game, sorry.
I will completely derail us for and when we finally get to the NBA, I have a few things that I have noted down that DB, you're going to want to talk about. It'll be very interesting. LeBron was even in his post-game presser, feeding into this very weird narrative that is gaining a lot of traction on the timeline on X. And that's just a little teaser for what we'll talk about when we get to the Yoss. But I do think we should get to Chris because I don't know how long we'll have him down there. He looks like he's ready to watch some horses run.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll bring up our guy, Chris Adams, who, ladies and gentlemen, you could follow on the timeline at Handicapping T3. Chris, a pleasure to have you today. Tons to look forward to at the Derby. How are we feeling? Are the nerves going? Are the jitters rising up? Is this your favorite day of the year? How does this stack up for you in the sports betting world?
Go to minute.
Oh, Chris, we're missing your audio here, my friend. See, he's speechless. That's how
Tempors,
big of a day it
tempors.
is, fellas.
All right, no worries, Chris. We'll just drop you down for 2 seconds here while you figure that out, and maybe we'll talk about the randomness that I was going to talk about later. Have you guys seen that the Wilson basketballs actually do have microchips in them, which has created a conspiracy theory that there's actually magnets as well in the basketball? There's people claiming there's proprietary technology that has been put through in like government documents that have leaked, and now the basketball, these rims that we're seeing when it hits the back of the rim hard, spins up and goes down, like we saw Hallie hit, Kawhi hit, Banchero hit, and now RJ Barrett as well. And then LeBron was saying at his post-game presser, he said, hey, it's those rims in Toronto are a little bit different. And then he started giggling to himself and he kind of nodded. So he knows what's been going on the timeline. So boys, any truth to magnetic rims?
No. No, absolutely not. I don't understand why when people have these like conspiracy theories, sometimes they don't take into account the like gravity of the amount of people that would have to be in on it, right? Like it's similar to like, oh, like people like doctors are out to get us and everyone should just be using natural remedies. Like, yes, everybody in that field, everybody in the NBA that has come, has gone, all rosters, all the guys that play on 10-day contracts, all the guys that maybe play 1 year and fizzle out, and then all these guys have podcasts. Everybody's kept their mouth shut. Right? Everybody's stayed quiet. Even the guys on this other side of those heartbreaking losses. Like, you don't think that Jalen Brunson or anybody on that New York team or anybody else that went up against that Pacers squad last year would have said something? I don't know. Weird behavior, and I saw that too, so it's hilarious. And LeBron's comment was funny, though. Like, the rims in Toronto, those rims are funny, man, because he's hit his fair share of game winners in Toronto, too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, spin zone here. I'm glad I'm a Chicago Bulls fan because I don't have to deal with potentially being on the wrong side of just an egregious make at the buzzer. That's my spin zone of being a Chicago Bulls fan. Like, that seems like the absolute worst way to lose. How it happened with Kawhi Leonard, how it happened with Halliburton, and then RJ. They're ugly shots, and you're just reaping. Like, it's great as a fan who's got no skin in the game. But man, if I was on the other side, holy cow! You would need to keep an eye on me after that.
McDaniel's shot was smooth. His ice nail in the coffin moment was a lot dirtier than these ones.
I don't know.
I might just be pandering to Chris down there, but we'll see.
There's something about it. I can't wait to get Chris's feelings on that too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring Chris back up here, seeing if we got him connected this time around. All right, Chris, do we have you back in the mix, my friend? It looks like you're okay. There we go, Chris. How are we doing? We're still missing out on the audio, my friend.
Maybe we try without the headphones.
Yeah, then we can just rattle off through the plays, Chris.
Yeah, we could try to make it work that way. If yeah, Beats McNeese. I know this is what I'm saying. Chicago. I mean, I got nothing in hoops. So, Chris, we're still having trouble getting your audio through without the headphones. I don't know if you want to try messing around one more time, and we could see if. Let's see if he can mess around one more time. We'll try to get him back up here. Worst case scenario, fellas, maybe he could send his picks to us and we could rifle those off.
They are also on the website. Make sure you guys go tap in right there. BettingNews.com. Everything that we talk about is always on the website.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, at Handicapping T3 on X, just in case we can't get Chris's audio working. So make sure to check that out to get dialed in for the Derby today. Hopefully we can get that going. Obviously would love to hear from Chris because I'm itching to bet some of these horses today, my friends. It's a perfect day to go in with no information whatsoever and have someone tell you what to do.
And I love Chris, but I mean, PJ, his daughter, she puts out some great picks every time he's on here. PJ's picks. Yeah, so we're going to need some
Danny, Danny, I don't know if you're aware, but pooping on the field is a big thing. That's a big bet. Bet Online has it. A lot of the major sports books have it. And it's basically like, as the horses are first being trotted out, will there be shit on the floor?
Will someone shit?
What's the
I know you have to know this information. What are the odds and what's like the history of this? Does it happen more often than not, Suck? I feel like you
I
gotta have
do.
this info
I
ready.
don't have the full history, but I do remember Chris came on last year and said yes to the poop, and we did get poop. Yeah, Chris is nodding. Yeah, we did get that.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
All right,
fade a
let's
poop bet? You don't have to twist
Oh,
my arm
nobody.
to bet on some animals
Nobody.
pooping on the track.
Chris?
All right, you guys got me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah!
Beautiful. Chris,
Excellent,
welcome
excellent.
in, my friend. We gave you a great intro talking about some poop bets. This is news to me, so I don't know if you've got any more dialed in for this year's Derby, but feel free to take it away, my friend.
Danny, don't worry, I got you covered. We're gonna be running that one back for sure. So, yeah, no, it's a great time of year. Short of the Breeders' Cup, this is probably one of the big days. A lot of pressure because most people only pay attention to this horse race all year, and so when they think you know what you're doing in a 20-horse field that's unlike any other, there's a lot of pressure to get it right. And I'll be honest with you, my Derby record, not terribly great, but we're hoping to turn that around this year. I think it's a really interesting group of horses that we can look into. Before we get into the Derby itself, people don't realize this, but there are horse races happening other days of the year. Kentucky Oaks was yesterday, which is like the Derby, but for female horses. There were 13 races on the card yesterday. Some trends that came out. If you're playing the races today, you might want to pay attention to. Jockeys were a big deal. So Jose Ortiz had 5 wins and a second place. Tyler Gaffleone, a local Kentucky kid, 2 wins, 2 places, 2 shows. So in the money 6 times yesterday as well. And then Irad Ortiz, Jose's brother, 3 wins, 2 shows. So some of those jockey names that you want to be paying attention to when you're playing. Jose Ortiz will be on Golden Tempo in the Derby. That's number 19. Tyler Gaffleone will be on Oselli, who drew in off the also eligibles. And then Irad Ortiz will be on the rail horse Renegade. So if you're looking to play jockeys, those might be some horses that you want to look at for the Derby. One other thing that kind of came out of yesterday is that the horses aren't making up a ton of ground. So if your horse is not up near the lead when they make the turn coming for the home stretch, you're probably going to be in some trouble unless the pace is just absolutely wicked. So you're going to want to look for horses that could be forwardly placed. I think that could be interesting given the makeup of the Derby field. We are now officially locked in, so no more horses will enter. We did have kind of a big scratch this morning in the Puma. He was scratched by the vets. And so if you were looking to bet on number 5, Right to Party, number 9, the Puma, number 13, Silent Tactic, and number 20, Full Effort, they are all out of the Derby. If that means that number 21, 22, and 23, that's Great White, Oselli, and Robusta, drew into the race. So that's how we'll make up our 20-horse field. One of my favorite articles to write every year is the Trash Talker's Guide to the Kentucky Derby, which you can find on Betting News right now. I did go in this morning and update that one with the also eligibles, and I took all the scratches. So if you're going to a Derby party later today and you want to be able to dunk on any of your buddies' terrible opinions, I gave you a reason why every horse in the race won't win. And then I also gave you a reason for every one of the 20 horses to win as well, and that includes those also eligible. So if you want to sound like you really know what you're talking about at the Derby party a little later today, go check that article out, read through that, and then anytime your buddy tells you that he's in on a certain horse, you can go ahead and just absolutely destroy him for being an idiot and tell him why you're a genius. That all may change when they cross the wire, of course. So we'll dive into the Derby picks here and kind of what I'm looking at. I think this is one of the most open Derby fields in a long time. I think there's a lot of likely contenders. Normally I come in with a really strong opinion. I like this horse, blah, blah, blah. I think Further Ado is the likeliest winner. I'm actually not betting Further Ado as the winner today, just because I think the top group of like 6 or 7 horses is all kind of the same, and I won't be surprised if any of them win. And so I'm looking for a price here today. Even if I don't think it's the most likely winner, I'm looking for that value play, and that's why I landed on the number 12, Chief Wallaby. It's going to be drawn to the outside a little bit, doesn't need to be on the front, but will be, I think, in kind of that first group. I I think with the Derby being wide open, I'm looking for a horse that's going to find a new level today. This is a lightly raced horse. He's trained by Bill Mott with Junior Alvarado aboard. Finished a close in the money finish in the Florida Derby last out. If that sounds familiar, it's because if we ran back the tape on Sovereignty last year, that would be the exact same pattern. In the markets, you're looking at this horse being somewhere around that 10-1, 12-1, 15-1 kind of area. So really good value on Chief Wallaby. I'm going to put my hands or put my faith in the hands of the connections that got it done last year. Bill Mott is really, really good at letting a horse take him to a race rather than trying to force it. So if he's here today, I think that horse is ready to run. It's been an absolute monster in the mornings. So definitely I'm gonna go and bet Chief Wallaby. In terms of more exotic plays, if you want to put together exacta boxes or trifecta boxes, this is a race where you can actually do like a 4-horse exacta box. It's $12. But if you get it right, you're going to get paid because the pools are so big. So other horses that I would use in my exactas and tries would be the number 18, which is Further Ado, the number 15, Emerging Market. And then, you know, the rest of my exotic tickets will use some combination of the number 6 Commandment, who I think might end up being the best horse in this race. The number 7 Danon Bourbon. That horse would be the first Japanese horse ever to win the Derby if it can do it. And then the number 19 Golden Tempo, I think is interesting. Jose Ortiz aboard. This is a horse that's going to be coming late. And I think could be really successful. I see Stifler says it was always Commandment. Commandment's a really good Derby horse. He's an even runner. He kind of just puts in really consistent furlongs. He's drawn to the inside, and I do worry he's going to run into all kinds of traffic trouble. So that's why I'm a little lukewarm on Commandment, even though he may end up being the best classic runner out of this group. So those are kind of my in-race plays. Now, I know, Danny, you're really interested in my props because we were talking about poop on the track a little bit earlier. I've got 3 props I really want to lock in. If you want more than this, I've got a full article on Derby props. You can go through and look at some of my favorites. The prices have changed a little bit. But I want to highlight kind of 3 big ones that I really like. First of all, you're currently getting minus 650 on no Triple Crown winner this year. I don't think we have any horse good enough to go all 3 legs this year. So even though I don't like to take minus 650, this one seems like way too easy of money. I just don't think it takes a special kind of horse to go the full Triple Crown. I don't see it here. And so I'm gonna just take the cash and use that to parlay into some other things later in the year. The second one that I like is the winner having the first letter of its name be A through H. Now, when I put this bet in, it was minus 150 yesterday with the scratch of the Puma, who was kind of a popular pick. That has now gone to minus 300, unfortunately. But when you look at who you've got in that group, that would mean that you can win with Commandment, Danon Bourbon, Chief Wallaby, Emerging Market. 4 of my top 6 runners all have A through H is the first letter. So again, I think you're getting value on that many runners to do it. And I'd put in a sizable wager on that one. You're really cheering against Renegade, I feel like at that point. And then the last one.
Sorry, do you know which letter actually leads the pack for like most wins?
You know what? I haven't gone back and searched the database on that one.
It's S. It's S.
I actually was going to say S because we had like Secretariat and, you know, there was it seemed like every horse that was born in the 70s was with an S name. So I get that. That probably would have been my guess if you put my foot. Yeah, so this is the one that Danny cares about. Now, I'm gonna shout out the Betting News fan base, the Betspresso fan base, because we were all over this last year. We took the plus money on a horse pooping on the track. Sovereignty stepped out of the paddock onto the track and helped us cash that bet. Unfortunately, I think a lot of our followers have been running it back because that has gone from plus 150 to minus 150 this morning. So you can still get in on it. But it is now minus 150, unfortunately. So we lost a little juice on that wager if you didn't get in early. But I definitely think that's a good one. As a horse owner and horse fan myself, I'm going to ask if you could please do us all a favor and avoid the bets that are like cheering for a pre or a post race injury. I just would. We don't want to be rooting for that. We want all these horses to come around safe and jockeys as well. So please, if you have it in your heart, don't root for that. Take that one off. So, but yeah, there's lots of good options there, from stars you're going to see on TV to how fast the race will be run to different combinations, all kinds of things that you can do in the prop markets. And again, I have that whole article where you can go through some of my favorite ones on that. And those are all available on Bet Online, as well as a number of other wagering sites as well. But Bet Online is one of my favorites for my horse bets, because you do get industry leading rebates when you play their race book. So I'm in there an awful lot.
The sharps are betting the poop, fellas. That's what we like
That's
to hear.
right.
Follow that money. Follow that money,
Yep.
baby. Chris, I want to ask you one thing that really stood out, and you said it at the beginning when you highlighted last night's race and looking at some of those numbers for the jockeys. How much of a correlation in years past, I don't know if you know the exact number, but how often does it occur where there is that direct line of success from the jockeys who perform exceptionally well the night before to then carrying over to the Kentucky Derby? Is that something that you put a lot of weight in, or is it just something kind of worth noting?
If we were playing a Tuesday at Parks, I wouldn't put a ton of weight in it. I think in most horse races, the horse wins the race. In this case, though, you are talking about young horses that are still developing. They're only in their sophomore season. And so these horses haven't reached their potential yet. And so you're looking for jockeys and trainers that not only have them have the gravitas to get them in the right spot, but also ones that are going good. I mean, as a Wolves fan, right? Jaden McDaniels looked like he couldn't miss in the elimination game against the Nuggets. I know we were talking about that earlier. I wanted to bring that back in, but like that, Jaden McDaniels is not a pure shooter, but he looked like one when he was putting the Nuggets in a coffin. And so, sometimes you ride the hot hand. The Derby's going to require confident decision making. You're going to get a small little hole, and you got to decide: can I go through it now, or do I have to wait and shift outside and take away my horse's momentum? I want somebody that's riding confidently, that's going to make that split-second decision going, I know this is going to be the right move because I can't miss right now. And that's the kind of jockey that I want to roll with. I don't typically put a lot of weight in it. I think they really elevate or downgrade a horse, but they don't really make a horse run any faster. But in this case, that's really important. More stake on these bigs.
Yeah, makes sense. Love it, Chris. You mentioned the Timberwolves. These guys have been telling me that you're a diehard fan, so I figure naturally we got to ask you about your squad that somehow, some way, without Anthony Edwards, without DiVincenzo, heck, without Io DeSumo in the last game, overcame Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Denver Nuggets. What were your thoughts on that series? And what are your expectations going up against Victor Wembanyama in the San Antonio Spurs? Maybe tough sledding going forward, but hey, they got there. So good for you and your team.
Yeah, I'm a big Wolves fan, big Wild fan. So it's been euphoria here lately. Unfortunately, lacking Ant and going up against a super freak like Wembanyama. I thought the Spurs were going to get here. I thought they were going to be about another 2 years away from this. So the fact that he's destroying people now is problematic. And frankly, like, I don't think our matchup is that great. I mean, I know they'd never win in Minnesota, the Spurs, and so that's good. But like, I just don't think we match up well. And Sans Ant, that could be tough. But at least then I can just ride my Derby wins and just enjoy that. I think the Wild are going to give the Avalanche a heck of a series. So I think we're going to put more in that, and then we're just going to take the chip chair chance approach when it comes to the Timberwolves. Just hope for the best. Maybe we can steal a couple and find a way to get to the Western Final.
Oh, man. Well, it's going to be a blast, Chris. And I know today is going to be a blast as well. We really appreciate you making some time and delivering all the fantastic insight. And folks, again, make sure to check out all of Chris's work at bettingnews.com, putting together multiple articles to get you ready for the Kentucky Derby and so much more today and beyond at Handicapping T3, where you could catch him on the tweets. Chris, again, enjoy the day. Best of luck with all your wagers, and we'll talk to you again soon, buddy.
See you, Chris.
Thanks. And before I leave, I would be remiss. I know why everybody's here tuning in today to listen. We've got Peanuts pick for today. My daughter, age 10, and actually my other daughter has a bet as well today. So if you want to tail my 10-year-old Peanuts picks, she's in on number 18, Further Ado. So you can go ahead and grab that one. And my 7-year-old Boo Boo, we call her Boo Boo Betts. Boo Boo Betts is in on number 19 Golden Tempo. She's taking Jose Ortiz to the bank. Nice long shot there. So if you've listened to nothing else I've said today, those are probably your 2 winners. Put them in an exacta box, and away we go.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, we got action all over the place. Chris, appreciate it. And tell your family we appreciate it, because I'm definitely tailing your daughter's action, baby. Let's go. That sounds great. Further Ado just has a nice ring to it. I'm locked and loaded. But appreciate it, Chris. Have a good one, my man.
See you, Chris.
All right, there he is, fellas. Hell of a time. You guys were not kidding about the poop props. I've got way more action than I thought I was going to have on the Derby today. I am pumped. Let's go.
Hey, I mean, you got to be sharp if you want to get the plus 150 on the poop bets, right? You gotta get in
Gotta be ahead of the curve, baby. Come on now.
Oh man, you gotta love it. It's a Kentucky Derby. It's a great time of year, and like Chris said, it's the one that everybody's going to be watching and everyone's tuning into. So if you have one of those parties that you're going to this weekend, or you're just going to have some people over at the house, take a look at that article. I'm looking at it right now. He's got a reason for every single horse. And if you just want to be the difficult person to shit on everybody's horse, this is the perfect way to do it.
Have you guys ever had a mint julep, which is apparently the Kentucky Derby's like?
Oh, the drink, right?
The drink, they go through like 1,000 pounds of mint through the day.
Yes.
Fan or no, V?
Like it's good. Like I think it's a cocktail. Like I have one. You know what I mean? Like I have one. That's where I stand with it. It's like just one.
Sometimes like I can't go overboard with the mint stuff like that. Like one is fine, and then it's like, all right, how much of this I'm getting? Like I don't want to get a headache with so much sugar and other stuff. So I'd probably
simple syrup. Once that starts getting introduced and things like that, I limit myself to one, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to pull a Sook here and derail us for just a second. I don't know why I just remembered this from something you said, V. But I tagged V in a tweet last night, and I don't know if you saw this, Sook. What it was, I was scrolling watching hoops, and I couldn't believe what I witnessed. I literally cackled. I laughed out loud. Did you happen to see Malik Willis's first pitch at the Miami game last night?
Yes.
Well, Sook, you got to look it up and find it. It was egregious. Literally, all three of us could have done better. Should have done better. And I tagged V, and I went Packers products CC at Vsauce. It was one of the first pitches that we've ever seen. It was eerily similar to 50 Cent's first pitch, yet this guy's a quarterback in the NFL. Do you care to comment?
It was absolutely hilarious. All I gotta say is he needed Matt LaFleur on the sidelines, and that pitch was going right down the fucking middle. Look at this suck.
Oh, my brother in Christ.
Yeah, like he almost hit somebody.
I gotta send you the link to this other one. It's like the aerial view too. I'll send it.
It's so funny from up high.
Yeah, the up high one doesn't
Oh
even
my god.
How does that happen?
Hey, I'm just saying, man, Anthony Richardson, that green and yellow, I'm waiting for it, right? That's the next project.
Looks like Jay Cutler. My goodness. Remind me where he signed again this offseason?
Miami.
Oh.
You got Green Bay South now with their head coach, with their front office, with their starting quarterback. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll be cheering for them.
Will Levis. Jeez, I don't know about that, but
come on, Beck.
Just quickly, since we're talking football, did you guys see the Buccaneers? A guy, Bain? Guy looks like an absolute monster. And then they showed when he got drafted, he was just like, they had like that the mirror, and he didn't look in the mirror. He just grabbed his hat, dapped up Goodell, and like busting it with the boys was talking about it too. It's like, that's the dude you want. And like, I've been watching his interviews after, and a lot of people are saying that he might be a dark horse for defensive rookie of the year.
Interesting, man. I'm excited. Like I'll have some thoughts on the draft coming out like this at the beginning of next week. Lots of teams made a ton of moves, and I'm very excited going into the offseason here with training camp and everything like that. I think there's a lot like mini camps have already started. The things like it's not the best time of year because that's obviously football season, but it's a pretty good time of year watching everything kind of develop and watch these young kids kind of come into their own.
Man, all right.
You can tell that me and V are a little. You can tell me and V are a little jealous that Any Given Wager has been talking football the entire offseason.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Danny's probably all footballed out and stuff like that. Yeah. But
No, it's funny because I didn't expect to have this much conversation about the draft because I couldn't have cared less about the draft heading into this year. And in years past, I find it very compelling and look to make wagers on it. But because of how weak it appeared, especially in terms of the quarterbacks, I just wasn't as, again, just appealed by it. And maybe too, because I'm in an unfamiliar territory where my team actually did good, and I'm not like, sweating out every pick, like what they need, this, and that. I know it's the whole D-line controversy, but afterward, I was surprised that that was a huge talking point, of course, surrounding the Bears here in Chicago. Ty Simpson with the Rams was another one. And with the Titans and SPJ, seeing what his team was doing is pretty fascinating as well, snagging Tate there in the top 5. So there have been some good talking points. And, again, I didn't care going in, but I think it is going to be pretty interesting with some of these players. It didn't, of course, doesn't move the needle as much as some years in the past, but interesting enough to, keep us by in these off-season months.
that's okay, Danny. I don't think Ryan Poles cared too much about the draft either with the way he
Don't get me started here.
I've been
I feel
saying
like it's going to give you guys an edge.
If there was someone they thought could revamp this defensive line, they would have drafted him. There wasn't anybody there. You got to trust the process. I'm willing to blindly trust for the first time in my life the Chicago Bears and a Chicago team because of what transpired last year. Come on, baby.
Fair enough.
Come on, B. You gotta give it.
First place schedule to finally drop. I can't wait.
We'll see. We will see. But all right, fellas, you got something else to sweat out today outside of your football, outside of the Packers offseason, I guess. Sook's sitting fairly comfortably with the Buccaneers. But you guys have the Celtics in game 7 against the 76ers, 8.5-point favorites. Total's a low one, 205.5 is what it's hovering around.
Wait. Sorry, Danny. Sorry. Do you have anything on the diamond today?
I do. I was just going to briefly rattle them off later because I figured we want to spend more time on basketball, but because I do you, how do you want it? Do you want me to just rifle them off quick or just because I'm just going to briefly hit it because I'll have the article later with more info, but whatever you guys want.
Perfect. Then we can save it for the end. I just wanted to know because I was going to surprise you guys with a little something right now. We're going to do a little quick Kentucky Derby. We're going to do a little quick Kentucky Derby, true or false. Originally, I was going to do this with Chris, but then I realized he's probably going to know all the answers. And then he comes out with a bet of horse to win, A to H. So you definitely know he knows most of these answers. This will be really quick hitting. Super, super quick.
Get it.
So Kentucky Derby, true or false?
Drake and Jack Harlow in the background.
Oh, yeah. First one up, the Kentucky Derby is the oldest running sporting event in North America. True or false, boys?
It seems too obvious to be true. I'm going false.
Yeah, I'm with Danny. Gonna play the opposite. False.
It is false. The oldest running sporting event is actually since 1816, and the Derby is since 1875. The oldest event is from Newfoundland, Canada, and it's a little bit of a boat race.
A boat race. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
All right, next one up. Secretariat has historically won the most at the Kentucky Derby.
I would say this is true just because of what Chris just said too, like with the S and Secretariat and everything. So I'm gonna go true.
I'm gonna go false.
Danny, you would be right. You're only allowed to run the race once. It's a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was
only.
like, I feel like no horse runs more than the one time.
I didn't know that.
All right, final one up. Told you this would be real quick. The Kentucky Derby. Oh, no, wrong one. Here we go. Still wrong one. There we go. A horse can run a marathon in 2 hours and 10 minutes. True or false?
Ooh.
I don't know how long a marathon takes for a human being, so I have no perspective on this.
Well, a human just ran a marathon under 2 hours for the first time.
I'm going to go. I mean, if this is the assumption, just mathematically speaking, keeping the current pace, I'll go true.
Yeah, true.
False, Danny, and you should know this answer. A T-Rex runs a marathon in 2 hours and 10 minutes. A horse would run a marathon in 2 hours, 30 minutes to 2 hours, 40 minutes. They're actually not very efficient long-distance runners. I'm pretty sure the most efficient long distance runner on the planet is a human being. So that was a trick question for Danny. Danny, you were not paying attention on Monday.
No, well, here's the thing. That's why I was bringing math in the equation, because if we actually tested this, and we actually tested a horse trying to run a marathon, how else are we going to equate it? You just have to put the averages of how long the lap is, and then, put that out for how long the marathon is. That was my asterisk for my answer.
Can I just ask, because I know I missed Monday, but the T-Rex running a marathon in 2 hours and 10 minutes, where the fuck did that come from?
Oh, don't get him started, please.
Yeah, it's way too long to tell you how we got there.
Okay, fair enough. We got
I forgot that V wasn't there, because I was kind of just like, how is V not roasting him right now for this?
All right, let's talk sports.
All right. So you want me to throw out some baseball? Yeah, I'll throw out some baseball really quick. We already kind of segued away. So I will have a full article after this with more info. I'm debating with this first one, but I have a strong lean toward the Cubs and Diamondbacks over 7.5 runs, because there is a book, actually a couple books, that are offering plus money, but one has it at plus 105. It's a little bit of a colder day here in the Windy City, 45 degrees, and the wind is slightly blowing in. We know how crucial that is at Wrigley Field, but it's less than 10 miles per hour. So it's not as impactful. And if anything, I think that gives us a decent buy low spot on two hot offenses. I mean, Cubs against righties the last 2 weeks, first in weighted runs created plus, fifth in ISO, sixth in OPS. They're going up against Ryan Nelson, whose ERA is over 7. His numbers are just awful. On the other side, Shota Imanaga has been a pleasant surprise, because last year he was a nightmare. Cubs didn't even really want him back this season, but he's been great. He's been their most consistent pitcher until last week. Got pummeled by the Dodgers. He's a lefty. In the last 2 weeks, Arizona guys are first in weighted runs created plus against lefties, second in OPS, and fifth in ISO. So I won't go too deep into some of the other pitching stats, but 7.5 seems like it could be a kind of good discount here at the friendly confines, especially at plus money. So something to keep in mind there. Last night, the Yankees treated me well. Hottest offense here. Yeah, Padge, you know what? I was looking at that too. Shota scares me a bit, but I do like the Cubbies today. Yankees run line, going back to the well, fellas. Minus 1.5 on the run line, plus 125 against the Orioles. They won last night, I think 7-2. So they cashed for us, hoping they can do it again. Ryan Weathers on the bump, 3.21 ERA, 287 xFIP, even better. Sierra is sub 3, ground ball rates over 40%. Baltimore's been below average against Southpaws the last couple of weeks. They came off a doubleheader 2 days ago, which is why I thought it was a tough spot yesterday, along with just having to face the Yankees. And now it's, again, just still the tough scheduling against the Bronx Bombers is not going to do them any favors. Neither is Kyle Bradish, who's taken the bump for them. 4.20 ERA, 3.76 batting average of balls in play. He's walking 5 guys per 9 innings, high whip of 173, high skill interactive ERA of 4.44. Yankees should do some damage once again. And this pains me to say it, because this team is actually pretty sick right now. And it's a team that I hate the most, guys. More than the Cardinals, who are the Cubs' rival. But it's the Chicago White Sox, the Southsiders. And it's because I've told this story all the time. And I hate the White Sox because I grew up with fans, and around 05, they just tormented me because just a diehard Cubs fan. And they'd be relentless. And, I dish it back when the Cubs have been good. But this White Sox team is looking pretty damn solid, fellas. I think they're on a 3-4 game win streak. They won 8-2 last night against the Padres. Their pitching's actually doing decent. Is Chicago. My cousin Sean Burke, 3.21 ERA. He's taking the bump. 3.58 FIP, 41% ground ball rate. He's keeping the home run damage below 10%. And a hard hit rate is below 40%. And barrel rate's just 4%. Padres have been not so good against righties these past couple of weeks, whereas the White Sox have been crushing them the last 2 weeks. They're third in weighted runs created plus, third in OPS, eighth in ISO. They're going up against Michael King, who traditionally is a really high strikeout pitcher, but his strikeout to walk rate is really lackluster because he's walking a ton. So 14% on that strikeout to walk rate, really low. In two home starts this year, his xFIP has come out to 467 and 488. 426 xFIP despite having a 241 ERA. A lot of numbers just to tell you that he could be due for some regression. And the White Sox at plus 170 with the way they're playing, worth a little bit of a sprinkle perhaps. But if you don't want to dabble with the White Sox, the over 7.5 at minus 120 also appealing at Petco. between the Padres and the White Sox. So just a few bets that I may or may not be writing about after this show, but that stood out to me for today's baseball slate. I already know Sook has pulled trigger because his book does have baseball bets. I know he texted his guy, said, please make this available, and he's been betting baseball ever since.
I love Acuna, Trout, Bonds, McGuire.
Bonds, McGuire. Oh my God. Yeah, that's jail. That's jail.
Sook, were you a pseudo baseball fan during this past World Series with the Blue Jays?
Yes. At that time I was, but that's just tuning in while other sports were on, and like it's cool when they're the only baseball team, so that's cool for them to be up there.
Danny, as you're going through all that stuff, it just kind of reminds you sometimes, like when someone's pitching baseball, especially like you're an analytical guy, no matter what sport you're betting, right? So when you bring that to baseball, it just sounds so funny in line, like the words, like somebody just like listened to 30 seconds, and it's just like, you know, double header, ERA, like back to backs, ISO, and all this kind of stuff. And it's so funny to think about when you like watch this game, and it's just hit ball with stick, throw ball really fast, and then it's just the most analytical game among like all of these sports. It's so funny.
It is, dude. That it is hilarious to put that in that perspective. But that's why I simultaneously love it and why it drives me crazy, because you can have spots where, again, the biggest, if you really want to narrow it down, the biggest thing that I look at is, say, ERA, earned run average, and then XFIP, which is just kind of more of a true indication of what the ERA should be or what you can expect out of him going forward. So when there's a big separation and you nail it, you're like, all right, these analytics are living up to the hype. But then if you're just consistently getting it wrong, or even if you have the right read and the bullpen blows it up, like it just drives you bonkers. So there's beauty in baseball and there's destruction in baseball. And that's what makes it America's pastime, I guess. A little bit of both. But yeah, there is term after term after term. And I'm sure 90% of people just tuned it out when I lay it out. And back in the day, I would kind of explain each one. And then I'm like, you know what? If people really want to know about it, I'm sure they'll go out of their way instead of me wasting more time trying to explain each one of them, because it is a mouthful. That is for sure.
Yeah.
But all right, fellas, enough of that.
I think it's much better than me just going, yo, I feel like this is going to hit. Dude's tall.
Hey, don't dismiss the narratives, baby. Come on now. I'm waiting for you to give me a Game 7 narrative here with the Sixers and yourself.
There's a Game 7 today? What are we talking about?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, we got plenty of ponies and baseball to talk about instead. All right, let me start with this, guys. How did we get here? As two Celtics fans, how the hell did we get here? From my perspective, it's obviously Embiid being back in the mix. I think people are discrediting the Sixers team. There's a lot of familiarity. They really have a solid roster when healthy. And then one other thing that stood out to me, and we were talking about on Any Given Wager because Adam's a Celtics fan, is when you look at the Celtics championship team versus now, I mean, they have no big man who can produce any offense. It's kind of a liability for them. Whether or not you can stop Embiid, like, I get it. It's tough. But they don't have anyone consistently scoring in the double digits, at least the last few games. And I feel like that's not a go-to option for them, which just is kind of hindering them. So those are the things that stood out to me. I don't know which one of you guys, because you're both Celtics fans, wants to take it first. But how the hell are we here in a Game 7, and how the hell are we feeling about this Game 7?
I'll go first because mine will be short. Tatum should not have come back.
Ooh.
It just threw a wrench into what was working, and it just was a misfit roster that just kind of was playing very positionally, very situationally, and Joe was kind of doing his thing. You can't do as much when you have two high usage players. You have to respect him. You have to give him his 35 minutes. Vsauce disagrees with me, though. I know that.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that. And I was going to do a whole bit where my screen was freezing, but now that I have to discuss this, I'm going to get serious. Right? I don't think that you can make the excuse that a player coming back is going to – Joel Embiid has missed a majority of the season. I don't even know if he's played more games than Tatum. Obviously, he has, but not by a ton. This is a guy who comes in and out of the lineup. Even that first game back, they looked horrendous. And what did they do after that? They responded with back-to-back big games. I think that this is on the team to play better around him. He has not even taken the usage that you would expect. JB's usage is still well over 30%, while Tatum's sitting below 25%. That's something that you don't want. If you look at the record, when Tatum is a high usage player, the Celtics thrive. I think they have like nearly over 60% win rate when he is seeing over 30% usage rate. If I don't see that tonight, then this team just isn't fucking serious. Everybody else needs to be better. JB needs to be better. He leads the playoffs in offensive fouls. That's something you cannot do at the guard position. You need to be smarter. The push-offs need to fucking stop. The turnovers need to stop. The losing your dribble needs to stop. Sam Hauser, if you're not going to hit threes and you're not going to be able to defend Tyrese Maxey, I need Joe Mazzulla to make the adjustment to Jordan Walsh. I need these things to happen. I need more Peyton Pritchard minutes. And more than anything, I need Derek White to just start hitting shots and to stop missing bunnies in the fucking lane like he is a rookie. You have been here before. You have been slumping before. I need everybody around JT to be better, and that's not to absolve JT of not demanding the ball. You are this team's best player. I know you missed a majority of this year, but there needs to be a little bit more aggressiveness with how this game is approached. Your usage rate is something that is bothering me, and I think that it's not just the coach. It's not just JB. It's on JT as well. The three of these guys need to come together. The team needs to be better, and if that happens, they can sneak into the second round here. What's waiting for them in New York, it's not going to be a fucking easy road either. But I haven't lost hope, and I do think that this Celtics team can get the win tonight if they play how they've played since JT returned. Everything has changed. JB's regression has, like, his passing has regressed. His playmaking has regressed. He's turning the ball over at a much higher rate, and his shot's not falling. And I understand that, but then the defensive lapses can't happen. We need them to play defense. We need Tyrese Maxey and Paul George not to be fucking cooking us like they have. Like, the
Vooch injury was a big thing too, right? Like, we lost him, and now he's still getting his legs back under him.
Yeah, and I also will make the argument, like Danny said, they have no center right now. If Vooch isn't going to take that perimeter shot, something that I know he can make but might not always be as comfortable taking, then he shouldn't be out there.
There's no value if he can't.
There's no value in it. You should just put Luka Garza out there, because Vooch is not giving you anything defensively. He's not giving you offensive rebounding, and he's not going to shoot the fucking ball. So you put Luka Garza out there. You get a little bit of a change up with Nimi, and I think Nimi needs to be better. He's been all right in this series, but in that last game, Sook said it best. Lights were too bright, and the guy was taking off at the free throw line for layups, and he just looked lost in the moment. He's been in foul trouble consistently in these matchups with Joel, and you need to defend better. You need to do it without fouling. You just, like, the team needs to be better all around, from JT included. Everybody needs to be better. That fourth quarter where he took 2 shots and went 0 for 2, you can't have that. These are not the moments. And game 7, everything on the line. You cannot be the first Celtics team to blow a 3-1 lead in franchise history. You cannot be that fucking team.
Why do you think we're here, DB? Outsider looking in?
Well, I want to address what you said about Jason Tatum kind of from this outside perspective. It feels a bit reactionary for you to say that. And I get why, because it feels like it's disrupting the flow, but we also have to take into account how different the regular season and postseason is. Just because Jaylen Brown and the Celtics were cruising in the regular season, sure, maybe they could still beat the Sixers, but do you think they would actually be a championship level team without Jason Tatum? Like, I don't think that's something that you would hope for. I think more of the issues, like I said, is just the lack of a consistent big man threat. And you brought up another good point too, V. Like, Derek White has been downright atrocious, and he has been that key cog in the past to help them through the championship. Like, that's what you see with teams who win. Think about when the Nuggets did. Aaron Gordon was that player alongside Jokic and Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon was that, third piece who could score and play good defense. That's what Derek White's supposed to be. Think about the Thunder. Like, you could give it to an Alex Caruso, even if you want to compare a little bit, somewhat of that degree. Heck, maybe even a Lou Dort. Just someone who you're not expecting consistency out of, but to hit the right shot at the right time and not be the one to fumbling and shoot themselves in the foot. That's what's going to separate you from being an okay team to a great team, relying on those role players. And right now it feels like the Celtics don't have it. Sure, you got one outstanding game from Peyton Pritchard, but outside of that, who's been stepping up? Where are all these role players who everybody was parading around about, like Shireman, everybody like during the regular, like those guys disappear. And maybe that's just a lack of experience in the playoffs, which is natural, but I just think that transition is maybe hindering them. And I really do think that it's not even necessarily as much about the bad of Boston. I just think the Sixers team is actually a pretty damn good roster when they're healthy. Like, yes, as annoying and frustrating as they can be, like when you really look at that starting 5 versus Celtics, it's not like it's arguably better because of Embiid in the mix and because of no big man for Boston. Now, realistically, I would still take the Celtics, but it's like the Sixers team isn't as bad as their record indicated going into this postseason matchup because of their lack of health. Like if Embiid was in there, these teams probably wouldn't have been matched up in the postseason. I would imagine that to be the case. So a lot of history between these two. The Sixers aren't scared of them. I think the Celtics more so, if anything, with the Tatum and Brown thing. Maybe Brown is just a little flustered because he's not playing with as much freedom and ease, knowing he's the top dog in a regular season setting. Now it's like, okay, how aggressive do I be? And maybe it does throw it off a little bit, but there's no excuse for that to happen with the team who has won a championship with this roster. And I think it would be crazy. Like, if I'm a Bulls fan and say he was back in the 90s and Michael Jordan, like he did, like had a chance to come back, and like, do you want Michael Jordan to come back in the postseason or no? Because they did really well in the regular season. Like, everyone's going to say yes. So I think if you can't perform with your top player, then the whole team needs to be brought down.
What a perfect comparison to end it off on, Danny. What a perfect comparison.
Tatum versus Michael Jordan.
I'm unhinged. But I think Sooks brought this to my attention too. Like, Nick Nurse has been coaching his fucking ass off in this series, and not to say Missoula hasn't been, but he's gonna if he wins this Coach of the Year award and then gets outcoached by Nick Nurse in round one, it's not gonna look great. But if you look at it, the after timeout plays, the ATOs, Nick Nurse and the Sixers here are scoring 1.58 points per possession, which is, I think, nearly 60% more points than they have been just on a regular possession. I think it's 1.18 versus 1.58 on these after timeout plays. They are going to Paul George consistently. He is hitting these shots, and this is a spot where Nick Nurse has not just thrived this year, but he has always thrived in this spot. He is a great play designer, especially when he has the second with his team on the bench and he can draw up a play. I think that's something that needs to be revisited here. We need to do better at stopping these plays. And no matter if the Celtics have been scoring points in this series, they've been giving up more, and that's been a problem. Defensively, the intensity hasn't been there, and that's something that needs to step up.
But I will say, and I hate that this is all over the timeline because it makes me feel like everyone is not paying attention. Derek White shot the basketball horribly all season. He shot 32% from three when he shot 38% the 3 years prior. He shot below 40% from the field overall, where he shot 44% the 3 years prior. He has been bad shooting the ball all year. It's really funny to me that everyone's just all of a sudden on him. He hasn't been able to shoot all year. You're not watching Celtics basketball if you're not aware that he can't shoot the ball.
He had one stretch of 3 weeks where he kind of got hot again, and that just went away so fast. But it's a tough position to be in, and I think that me and Slick both had a tough time finding props for that exact reason. But I'll kick us off with my first one because, hey, if they're gonna blow a 3-1 lead, I'm fucking leaving here with something. Okay, I'm leaving here with something.
This too.
Paul George over 15.5 points after the games that he's had in this series, the most recent, the way he's been shooting the ball. I hate to even say it, but I mean, I pray to God that I jinx this and he finishes with 6 points. But Paul George over 15.5 points is a 1-unit donation that I'm ready to make. And I think he's been good in this series. He's been hitting his shots. These are moments. And I know that he got suspended for 25 games, but whatever substance he did, he can't undo it, right? So he served his suspension and he's here. And I mean, I've said this before about other players. You can't undo the steroids, right?
Whoops, it slipped. I guess I'm stuck with it. I'll be back in time for the playoffs.
Oh, man. I hate you and your lack of faith, okay? This guy has been sending me messages for the last 48 hours saying, I hope they lose. I hope they lose.
The reverse jinx.
Let me ask you really quick, because you're kind of talking about a happiness hedge here. Are you someone who, especially with this price, you could get on the Sixers, maybe throwing some coin on the Sixers money line? So what the amount of worth of the happiness of the Celtics winning for you would be?
Because I'll just be sad. I'll be sad.
Won't even matter.
Won't even matter. I'll feel dirty, actually, more. I'll feel worse. Look, I can't believe I just did this. You know what I mean? I say my team, we, and then I'm here betting against them. Suspend me, Adam Silver.
No. I've got a few props, but Sook, I want to hear your thoughts first on any action that you got, or anything from the Paul George play that V dished out.
Oh, I'm so disappointed he's betting on a Sixer, but I do have two props. They're actually different odds, but the same line. Jordan Walsh over 5.5 PRA. This line is actually hit pretty consistently overall on the season. I'm surprised it's here for plus money. I really do want to take it. It's actually hit in the last 2 games. Like Vsauce alluded to earlier, we want to see more minutes out of this guy. He's very elite on the defensive end, can guard anybody. And I think that you need him out there bringing his intensity against a guy like Paul George. And the other one, Baylor Shireman. He's played great for us. Hauser is not giving us the minutes that we need. 5.5 PRA, tiny bit juice, but not really. I'm going to take that again because really this line is very consistently hit in 9 out of 10. Obviously, with the playoffs, the minutes have been completely different, but both of these lines are just so low, and they're 2 guys that I want to see in the rotation today, and I expect to see in the rotation. So that's what I went with.
No, I completely agree, Zuck. I think we need to see more minutes. Walsh has done a fantastic job on Maxey. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he has been our best defender on Maxey. The thing is, he's not playing minutes. And that's maybe sometimes because his 3-point doesn't fall, but I do think that you need him out there in order to like try to stifle some of this Sixers offense.
I'm hearing a lot of Sam Hauser slander on this program today, and the only reason I bring it up is because I bet him once, I think this entire season, was game 5 over 6.5 points, and he hit it. So he's in my good graces, fellas. But I understand that he may present the liability on the defensive side. Stifler does not like Shireman, although I feel like this guy was preaching about Shireman all season long. SBJ likes Embiid over 4.5 assists. Jerry said he has Hauser boards. Any of those plays stand out? Well, I know you guys have some action on Shireman, but anything with Embiid and his assists?
Nothing on Embiid. I wanted to bet the threes again, but he burned me on that last one. The volume was still there, went 1 of 5. But I do have a chalkier play. I'll just get out of here, Danny, before you talk to us about yours. Jason Tatum's PA. I went with the PA just because I felt like the line at 29.5 is really low. His rebounding line is sitting at 10.5, which is something that he has been smacking since he even got back into the lineup, not just in this series. He's obviously the Celtics' best rebounder, leading rebounder since his return. But the 29.5 PA in an elimination game, I just think he's going to have to really score the ball. I think he's going to have to see a ton of volume tonight. And like I said at the beginning of this Celtics talk, if I don't see high usage Jason Tatum tonight, I'm going to be very disappointed in the game plan and the way that they came out to execute. I think he needs to take at least 20 to 22 shots tonight and have the ball in his hands for a majority of that. He played 27 minutes, even though he left like very early in that game with a little bit of tightness. I know everybody wants to talk about his injury and is he injured or is this one of those situations where he's overcompensating on the other side? It's not. The game was getting out of hand. He is feeling a lot of more stiffness, but he's also a guy playing 37 to 38 minutes. Mazzulla is playing him more than JB. And even if you see him, if you watch these games, he's getting like rest in like 3-4 minute increments and coming right back into the game because of how important he has been to the Celtics team. I think this is a spot where, I mean, if you remove the game 7 against Miami where he hurt his ankle on the very first play of the game, Jason Tatum averages 35.3 points per game in game 7s. So if it's not now, I don't know when it's going to be. Yeah. And if I'm betting Paul George, of course I'm betting Jason Tatum.
I looked at Tatum over his threes, couldn't get there. I also kind of had a similar thought process, V, but with Jaylen Brown, with either his points or PRA, but I just haven't seen enough to fully trust it. But to me, it's like, the correlation, if the Celtics are going to win, you know, Jaylen Brown has to have a great game. Like Tatum can't do everything, but I do like your angle. Like maybe if people want to not lay that many points against what appears to be a solid Sixers team, just support Brown and Tatum if you still think they're going to win this thing outright. That may be the way to look to approach it. Someone said Maxey threes. I do have a play on Tyrese Maxey, but it's not threes. But I am going back to the well with the same play, guys, that I did the last time these teams met, and that was Tyrese Maxey over his points and rebounds. Now, when I took it a couple days ago, it was at 28.5, and I was like, well, he could go over this by scoring alone, and he did. He got like 30 points in that game and only 2 boards. But my assessment as well was that he was actually averaging more rebounds with Embiid on the floor as opposed to off. The last 15 games leading into that matchup, it was 5 compared to 3. He had 10 with Embiid the game prior. Now, granted, he only got 2, but again, he scored enough to get over it. And we cashed. And then I'm looking at it today, and 27.5s were available. Now, I think consensus is 28.5 again, and I still do like it, but I was able to get the 27.5 combined points and rebounds for Tyrese Maxey. Laid a little bit of juice at minus $120, but because of those numbers that I listed out with the averages and just because of the necessity for Maxey to still score a ton, you know, this is going to be in a good position for him. So I like the points and rebounds over 27.5. Again, if you have 28.5, maybe play a little bit less, but I still think it's a pretty darn good look. So that's one play that I got. Another one that I had that you guys may be in support of. I went back and forth here. I was like, should I do the points or should I do the combination? I ended up doing the count. Well, I threw a little bit on the points, but I'm also giving out the points and assists officially, but it's Peyton Pritchard. It was over 12.5 points, or the assists and points was 16.5. I would actually also play that up to 17.5. But again, 16.5 is available out there. If you can find it at multiple books that you have available, minus $1.20. You need a role player to step up. Again, we talk about it with Derek White. If it's not going to be him, it clearly has to be Peyton Pritchard. And we've seen him do it in this series. He's averaging around 15 points per game because he exploded that one spot with 32. Otherwise, he scored 14, 12, 15, 4, and 12. Assist-wise, he's racking up anywhere from about, 2 to 5. Well, he had one game with 2, and then the rest have been 5 and 6. So the assist numbers have been there. If Tatum's going to have a great game that V's expecting and the Celtics close this out, the facilitating should be there along with enough clutch buckets from Pritchard to get him over this combination. So I like Pritchard over 16.5 points and assists. Again, if you have 17.5, I think it's still a viable look. And then finally, I do have one Sixers play, and this is purely just based on what we've seen this series. VJ Edgecombe over 5.5 boards, minus $1.14. It shouldn't be as low as minus 114 on the odds. He's collected 3 rebounds, 10, 10, 4, 7, and 8. So he's given me enough sample size to show he's going to be active off the glass, getting 37 minutes a game. It's game 7, going to be tightly contested shots, even more than usual. So I'll take it on a number that should either be 5.5 shaded heavily to the over or at 6.5 for plus money. So purely just based on this sample size. But those are the 3 props that I'm rocking with, fellas. And I'm hoping and pleading for your Celtics to win, but taking no action on the side.
I think
You get surprised by the spread?
Yes and no. It makes sense that it's there. Would I lay that much with Boston? Absolutely not. But it would surprise me if they just dominated. But last game, I was so disgusted with them laying 6.5 on the road because I thought, yes, they were the better team and should win, but it was clear that, Philadelphia can match them up pretty well. Jerry's in the chat, earlier saying there's value on the Sixers money line. I mean, if you think that, just take the points. Take the points. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to cover within 8.5 based on what we've seen this series.
Oh, God, Stifler. I hate you so much. Okay. But I think there's something to be said about the rebounding props, Danny, not just VJs, but Tyrese Maxey adding that in too. I think with Embiid out there on the court, they make more of an effort. Like the game plan is not to have Embiid under the glass or attacking the offensive glass. It's to have team rebounding and make sure everybody's getting out there. A dude's coming off an appendectomy three weeks ago. Gotta respect his hustle and respect how hard he's fucking working. Game 7 tonight, man. I can't. I'm not okay for the next fucking few hours.
Let me ask you guys this really quick because Crazy Pellet mentioned it, talking about first half minus 4.5 a couple of days ago. Do you view this as if the Celtics are going to win this game, they have to be leading in the first half, or at least they can't dig themselves out of a hole, I guess is what I'm getting to. At no point in this game can they let the Sixers get up, say, 6 to 10 points. Because if you think that that's the case, I would say I'd rather take the first half with Boston than laying 8.5 full game, especially with all the late game shenanigans. So is that kind of how you view it? Or do you think this team, I guess my point is if they go down, or do you think they're screwed, or would they still be able to dig themselves out of a hole if that were to come to fruition?
Bias. There's no hole they can't get out of.
Yeah. That I've seen it happen before. I've seen crazy shit happen, but I just want to make sure that team is the one that comes out tonight, because the one that came out in the last 2 games hasn't been that team. The team that shows resolve and responds and does those things. So I'm hoping to see that squad, because if it's the team, I don't think this is going to be that.
I'm more concerned about seeing a defensive effort in the first half. I don't care if we're up or down. I just want to see every possession be played. And there was a lot, me and V were texting during last game. There was a lot of times with a lot of missed assignments where guys were looking at each other, and that's never what you want. You want guys raising their hands, dapping each other up, sprinting, not just deer in the headlight looks. So I'm more concerned about the effort coming out from minute 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a dogfight, man. Because I know the Sixers want this bad too. They've not had the most success in Game 7s here, and it's always a scary thing. So I need the Celtics to come correct just for my mental health more than anything else.
Well,
That's
V,
right.
talking about your mental health, are you worried about his leg at all?
I'm not, because the way that the team's approached it, the way that he's talked about it, and everybody, I know that everybody wants to play doctor, but if you go back and you watch him, he's still doing activity after the game. He's running around, he's jumping, and even where he's touching on his leg, it's a lot higher than where you would normally think for a calf injury. There's this guy that I follow. It's a Medspiration. He always does it in great deep dive where he analyzes the video, and he's not like one of these other Twitter doctors that, or I should say Twitter fucking PTs, but these guys that love to just like run to the fucking timeline and talk about an injury right before it's even happened. I was sitting there trying to find video and trying to watch where it happened or what was the thing that sent him to the locker room, and there was no videos of it. A day later, that guy posted, and you can see how analytical he is and how much he gets into exactly where he's touching his leg, exactly the movements he's getting into. And after all of this stuff, Tatum was playing that game. He had a dunk. He was playing very aggressively and defending very aggressively. I don't think this is one of those things. If it was, I don't think he'd be out there playing either. I think that the team is more than capable of understanding his health. I think they've managed it properly. I just think it's insane when people get on the timeline and say Jason Tatum should sit and the team shouldn't risk it. Like, brother, were you in the fucking room? Are you his physician? Like, come on. That's all I'm saying. I'm not his physician. I said the same thing with Wemby. When he got the concussion, my idea was he's going to be out at least 2 games because of a week usually is what you're going to take to recover. But again, if you don't conduct the test, if you are not in the room, you have no idea what the fuck is going on. So I didn't think Joel would come back in this series, and here he is 3 weeks post-appendectomy. Unless you are with the players, treating the players, and watching them day to day, we really have no idea what's going on. And if he says he's fine, he's fine.
Yeah. And I'm sure there were plenty of Sixers fans who said, don't even bother bringing him back. And now they're pretty content that he came back in the middle.
I felt that way about Joel too. You know what I mean? Especially in games 5 and 6. Like, let the poor guy rest. You know what I mean?
And just because Chat was talking about it, we touched on it briefly. Like Joel's assists, like he's been a very willing passer, beating up on us. And before the help defender even comes, he's finding the open guy. So he's been great. I hate to see it.
I hate to see it, and I hate to admit it, but he's been great.
Like every time he gets anybody one-on-one, me and Vsauce are fully clenched.
And his jumper's not even dropping yet. That's the fucking shitty.
Yeah, exactly. So if he starts hitting some threes today, oh my goodness.
All right, fellas. Well, I know we're running over time here, so I do want to ask if you've got any action on the ice before we get to our parlay. Hurricanes, Flyers. They are starting their series today. Carolina, big favorites, around -230. Philly +190 on the buyback. Again, I've been out of the loop with hockey this year, so curious if you guys have anything for today or potentially for Sunday.
No, nothing from me. I was just Flyers played very, very hard fought series, won 6 games, some double OT games in there too. I just think that I don't know if I want to play a rust versus, you know what I mean, angle, or if I want a rest versus rust. Like either the Carolina Hurricanes are rested and ready to beat the shit out of this Flyers team at home in game 1, or they're a little bit, you know what I mean, off their game, a little too rested, and Philly comes in with all the energy and all the momentum. Sook?
I watch hockey, I bet hockey, but I'm not giving out any plays. I do like this. The former Calgary Flame has looked fantastic for Philly, and it's a big day for the city of brotherly love. So I hope they catch 1 win today, but it's on the ice, not the hardwood.
Yeah, my God.
Can I ask you guys a random question about hockey? So you guys are both Oilers fans, correct?
No, Flames fans.
Flames. Okay, maybe you just brought up Oilers, and that's why it came up to me.
So
Right,
was literally
apologies.
dancing up and down once the Oilers got eliminated the other day. It
Because,
was the
well,
only thing that made me feel better actually after the Celtics loss.
Maybe Sook was saying that it was his in-laws that were Oilers
Yeah.
fans. And,
Yes,
so
my
that's
in-laws
what I
are
got
Oilers
confused.
fans.
All right, so my apologies. So I wanted to ask, so then as a Flames fan, are the Oilers your most hated rival?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you rather, because this hasn't happened in so long, right? Like, if they were in the like when they've been in the Stanley Cup final, do you root for them if they're going against an American team, or do you hate them enough to still root against them and keep the cup out of Canada?
Me and Sook differ on this.
Yeah, I was all over Florida both years. I loved Florida. I've liked Michon since I was a kid. Kachuk was a flame. I never wanted us to trade him away. We wouldn't give him the C, so we traded him. And the Rat King won a chip in a rat place. So
Chucky's a dickhead. Fuck him. And Cup needs to come back to Canada. That's my thoughts on the matter. I don't care who does it.
my father-in-law begged me to cheer for them, and I just wouldn't do it.
No.
See, again, I told you guys that I hated the White Sox. So when they're in the World Series, people were like, but wouldn't it be cool for a World Series team to come out of Chicago? And I said, no, screw them. I don't want them to win.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on Sook's team here. Like, if I hate the team, I hate the team.
Yeah,
But I get your
Toronto
angle, V. I get the
Toronto
No.
and Vancouver can lig my. If Montreal won for some reason, Montreal all good. I'm cheering for them. I hope they go through.
See, that's how I feel about Vancouver, though. If it was the Canucks, I'm no, fuck that. I don't want them to win a fucking Stanley Cup. I don't want it to ever happen.
But
I
I
don't
will
want that to
say,
happen.
I love the new heat between the two
The
countries.
heated
with
rivalry
hockey.
between the two.
Yeah, I didn't want to use that term
I did.
specifically, but
I did.
sure.
I did.
All right, who would it be though? Who's hooking up on both sides? No, I'm just kidding.
No. You just know Brady Kachuk, if he can read the fine print, is going to be on that. But I'm just saying.
All right, sorry, I had to derail you guys. I'm glad I did. That was a good combo. Let's get to this parlay. I'm sure you guys want to get out of here. I've inquired and picked your brains enough. Where do we want to start with where do we want to start? We only got one option, but for basketball wise, I guess is there anything that really stood out to you baseball wise if we want to go there? Or we could just go all basketball. I've got no issues with that either.
Let's do all ball, no?
Yeah, I'm down to all ball.
I'm also down to start with the Maxi PR.
I took the words right out of my mouth. So I don't want to be the one to say it, but yeah, Maxi PR feels like a good starting spot.
Let's go. I did my sell job.
All right.
I am scared though because I do like the Celtics. I'm like just hoping that he doesn't have a dud of a game, and that's why the Celtics win. But yeah.
Okay, who do we take on the Celtics side then? Do we go with Tatum's PA or do we go with like Shireman or Walsh?
Then I had the Pritchard one too, but that line
Yeah.
might have moved. So that's just the other one. You guys, it seemed like everybody liked Shireman and Shad. And is that a 5.5 or
That is a 5.5 PRA.
PRA 5.5? Let me just look it up.
Is it wildly available though?
I don't mind the Shireman angle if you guys think he's gonna get a good enough usage rate today. Obviously, then it's a great look.
I also do think that Garza PRA at 5.5 is hilarious as well.
Yeah, I think he needs more minutes too, bro. I agree. I was gonna bring it up, but
So if you don't want
it's
to,
funny because three of the guys are just guys that me and Sook think should be playing more, right? And it's like, does Joe make the adjustment, or what fucking happens here? And
V, this can't be as bad as a Packers game for you, though, right?
I know he seems pretty fucking distraught this morning.
yeah, you guys I'm having flashbacks to I think it was 2023, maybe 2023 when we went down 3-0 to Miami, came all the way back for Game 7, and I watched Jason Tatum roll his ankle, and it was just the most nerve-wracking every single game for me, and I'm feeling that again, and I don't even know what to bet.
And just a little insight into us, DB, like every single year, there's only been 1 year in the modern Celtics history that I thought we could win the chip, and it was the year that we won it. Every other year, Vsauce was like, this is the year, including this year. And I'm just like, no, I don't see it. I don't see how that path is open to us.
And then he changed his mind when Tatum came back and he saw what we were doing to teams.
And now I changed my mind again.
Now he hates Tatum. He wants Tatum off the floor.
This is like the 08 Celtics. 7 in round 1, 7 in round 2.
Hey, that's the best playoff series of all time. Bulls versus Celtics. Derrick Rose rookie year. I'll stand by that. Most entertaining.
See,
Derrick Rose might be like top 5 most entertaining player of all time. Yeah. He did things that we'll never see again. We thought Jaw was going to do it, but instead he's throwing grenades and shots.
Bro, the Ben Gordon versus Ray Allen, that matchup was fucking phenomenal.
Again, the best series that it just unbelievable. And that kick-started everything with Rose. And that you talk about like Tatum rolling his ankle, like when Rose went down that year, I thought that was the best chance for the Bulls to come out of the East and overcome LeBron and company. And all the players thought that too. And was on the verge of tears there. Like that was just.
I know, but we
So
did get the silver lining of the Joakim Noah DPOY year where he was like catching it off the glass and Jokicing it all the way down the floor. So that was fun for a year with
That was
Tibbs.
so much fun, bro. Shout
One
out
story,
to-
I ran into Joakim Noah a couple flights ago. I had like a bachelor party in Miami and he was first class. He was back here in Chicago, but going back home to Miami for one of the F1 races or something, was just posted up in first class, knees sprawled all over, 7-footer. So yeah, he was arguably my favorite bull. I mean, Derrick Rose is a favorite, but like outside of the obvious, Noah's just an absolute beast.
He's such an interesting guy. His mom was a model, his dad was a tennis player. And then when he kind of flamed out of the league and he ended up like in New York and he didn't play well, and then he ended up in the Grizzlies, played well, and they said, what happened to New York? And he was like, I'm too lit for New York. He's like, I need to be somewhere quiet.
And you guys got to love him because he genuinely hates LeBron in the city of Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. Like you go to Cleveland for vacation? You vacation in Cleveland? No. Oh, man.
All right. We're fully derailed. Let's go
Yeah.
this parlay.
All right. Maxi PR.
Okay.
I think we could take Embiid 5 assists from our
SPJ.
Lord and Savior, SPJ.
I
Now
do
we have to
like
come
that.
to terms on Celtics props, and that's where me and Slick are struggling. I think Shireman or Walsh, one of the two, Slick. I think we got to have faith in one of the two adjustments, or just Garza.
I just remember seeing Wall shoot a 3 the last play I saw of him, and it hit the
Side
side of the
backboard.
backboard, and it was the ugliest shot I've ever seen. So I do have
That
that,
does
gross
happen to
taste in
him.
my mouth.
Yep.
That does happen to him.
We could also do Peyton Pritchard and Luka Garza. If we
You
think
really-
that's
It's again, Luka Garza, just like
Good.
it's
Pritchard,
a
I
tough
can still get
situation when your
16 and a
team's
half.
relying on Luka Garza in a game 7. That's what concerns me.
See, that's the problem, Danny. 4 weeks ago, Vsauce was like, why isn't Luka Garza playing more? And I'm like, Luka Garza is a great guy to have in the roster, to have on B team in practice. But if he's in your rotation in the playoffs, you should be worried. And here we are, begging for him to play. That's scary. What is going on?
oh my God, Suck.
It's tough.
We're fucked.
No.
Sixers money line.
Okay. So
Oh,
we're not putting
man.
Luka Garza in this parlay now.
Suffice to say,
Yeah. I think let's do Peyton Pritchard. PR was it
Yeah.
the PR? You were
I did PA personally for Pritchard. I also don't hate your guys' Shireman angle though.
I'm down to go with Shireman and Peyton Pritchard. So we need
So if we do Tyrese 27.5 PR, Joel 5 assists, Peyton Pritchard 16.5 PA, and Shireman 5.5 PRA. That's plus 725.
Did we get one from each of you, or who had did we get one of these in there?
no, but that's okay.
The-
No, I mean it's just Tatum, and I don't want to play Paul George twice. I have one unit on him. That's enough.
Why don't we throw the Celtics money line in there, huh? Could you imagine if that's
Oh, you want to butter my bread?
Yeah, I'm down. Fuck it.
Yeah.
see how
Minus
much it
250?
boosts it.
Okay, if I put in Celtics money line, sorry, 1 second, plus 1,000.
There
That's
we go.
perfect.
That's what we need.
perfect.
All right. Oh God.
That's perfect, and we'll get that out in the timeline right when we get out of here. So, no banner right now, but wait 20 minutes and it'll be out there.
You got some time, Chad. We've got some time. Oh God.
Oh, Jerry
Yeah,
says
we
we'll revisit this tomorrow.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh my God, Jerry. I won't be here tomorrow if that's the case, Jerry. Okay. I've been trying to call in sick. Okay.
Yeah,
Man.
me and V aren't like Shags. We'll duck you.
Oh my
The
God.
last time that V's team got screwed, I remember waking up extra early on Sunday or whenever it was. Yeah, it was Sunday because it was Bears Packers Saturday. Oh man, that guy was just getting obliterated in the chat. At least he has stuck alongside him if it happens, but it's not going to happen, baby. The Celtics are going to win. Don't you
Celtics
guys?
are winning tonight.
Okay,
Danny's
thank
on
you.
my
This is-
side.
But we need Trizzy to be happy and Adam to be happy with us too. We got a lot of Celtics fans on the network.
That's right. That's right. It
And-
may not be pretty, but they're going to get the job done.
That's all we need.
That's
Just do your job.
right. All right, fellas. Well, it has been a hell of a ride. We've been all over the place. We've talked Kentucky Derby, baseball, heated rivalry, hockey. We've talked basketball. We have talked it all. Surprisingly, we didn't talk about any film today, which is usually what comes up when us three get together, but we'll save that for Monday's edition of Afternoon Betspresso. And you guys, again, shout out for hitting the saucy lay last night. Tomorrow, you guys will be doing the giveaway. That's correct, Sook?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow on All Sauce Team in the morning with SPJ from Costa Rica.
Yeah,
Ooh.
let's go. So
Can't wait to
plenty
see
to
you
look
posted.
forward to. And
Mhm.
hopefully a Celtics win along the way. But like Sook said, he'll have the parlay that we concocted here posted on the timeline. And we had so many bets. Hey, if you missed it, you might just have to go back and replay it because Chris Adams came on, giving away some plays with the Kentucky Derby. You can follow him on Twitter at handicappingT3. His article's posted at bettingnews.com. Mine for baseball will be posted momentarily throughout the afternoon. Horse poops, lock it in, minus $150. His daughter's picks, the 18 horse and the 19 horse. I remember one of them was Further Ado. Maybe Emerging Golden Tempo is the other
Golden
one.
Tempo, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go.
And then I know that Chris also liked Chief Wallaby, Commandment, he shouted out, and then Dane and Bourbon, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, some of those ponies to keep an eye out for. But it's going to be a fun day. Best of luck to everybody out there with whatever you're wagering. At Vsauce with 3 A's, where you can follow V on the tweets. At Just Sook. In the middle, myself at Danny Burke 5. At Your Betting News for the Betting News Network. Other way, Celtics, baby. Sook's gonna have to commit to the jacket. I had a Bears one that I wore during the games. You got to perspirate, man. You got to suffer it out. You got to keep it on in order for them to win. And if they do, then these fellas will be happy tomorrow. But until then, enjoy all the action, and we'll talk to you later. Adios, folks.
What you know about rolling down in the
Riding in the deep.
down in the